Hi everyone, good evening from India and happy Easter to everyone around the world. And I am Ankit joining you from India, and we have Kimberly Calhoun joining you from North Carolina, and then we have Billy Hill joining you from down under Australia. So happy Easter to both of you. How is the
Happy
day?
Easter. Happy Easter.
Thank you, same to you.
So,
Billy, we'll start with you. How was your Easter? Because you were about to end it, and Kimberly is about to start the Easter day.
Good.
IBM TV around the world from the beginning to the ending. We have it, right? One big circle and in the middle, right? We just have one big circle here. We can share with the world everything that's going on. You know, today is a day that we would just, the women, you know, we were talking fashion yesterday, and today was our big day, our spring opening for fashion. Church, I hate to say it, but it was like, oh, you could not wait to show off your new dress, the patent leather shoes, the gloves. We had white gloves and a purse to match our shoes. It was a big event. It wasn't just about the excitement of getting up to see what, and I never understood Easter Bunny. I mean, I was excited as a kid, but I got older. I'm like, really? He's a bunny delivers our eggs. I don't get it, but a bunny delivers our eggs. And you know, years ago, I got creative. Like 20 years ago, when my child was, I think he was 5 or 6, and I wanted the eggs to last forever. So I spent weeks before Easter blowing eggs. I don't know if you've ever done that, but you punch a hole in the top and the bottom and you blow your eggs out. And I figured out a way to use the eggs because I could not stand to throw away eggs. And we colored our eggs that year. And I've managed to keep about 11 of them unbroken.
That's nice.
For 20 years. But
yeah. Good.
I take them out every year and display them in our favorite Easter basket, nicely painted. But it's a memory from, because I'm like, yeah, we color these eggs every year and then they're gone.
Yeah.
And, you know, you can take a picture of them, but it's not the same. So, and I'm sure there are better artists than me, but, you know, we had fun, but I'm sure people could paint elaborate things. But my son did something really cute. He was only 5 or 6, but he made a little Easter bunny face on the thing. But those are the kind of things we did to, you know, Easter celebration, paint your favorite football team. But baskets are a big thing. What a lot of people don't understand is many years ago, the Easter time frame, they would let the farm kids out of school. And that's when we would go plant our fields, right? We would go help the parents. And we would spend that Easter time planting the fields and preparing for our food for fall. So it was a big time, you know, because people say, why do you take off so much time, springtime? Well, that was a very important time for us for one, a lot of times this time of year, if you're a good farmer, I'm not a good farmer, your strawberries are coming in, right? So this is a big time. So you would be harvesting your strawberries and various other things that came in during the spring, but you would be planting your fields as well. So, so it's, you know, a time of life. Right, you're waking up out of winter.
And I think the time of changing the season as well, and the time of bringing a lot of colors in your life. And it's time to go out because before that it's more of a winter season. And also in India, it's time to change your academic season as well, because in April we start the new academic session. And also our farmers have also started doing those shopping things for the. So it's similar, and it's just that we have different names in different countries. And we do Easter as well in India because we have a lot of Christians around India as well, and then it's like a global festival. Like you people celebrate Diwali, I've seen a lot of people celebrate Diwali and put the diyas. So likewise, we do Easter as well, but we don't do it as much the way you are doing it. But we know the Easter thing. There's a festival known as Baisakhi, which we celebrate to welcome the spring and to welcome the farm culture. The season is changing, so that is what it's all about. So it's about it's about the same thing, but in a different way altogether.
That's what I keep telling people. I've read
same but different.
Right. I've read a few religions and laws, and we all have the same love and respect. It's different names, but there's no reason why we can't love and respect each other no matter what religion we are raised in. Willie, share with how your Easter went.
It was really good. It was really good. We had pork and what else did we have? Cauliflower, the cheese. Yeah, it was good. It was good. It was good. It was very quiet.
Do you know how to cook?
No, that's one thing. I'm what shall I say? My cooking skills is challenged.
You're challenged in cooking. I'm challenged in cleaning and domestication completely. But
I think you are a good buyer. You buy a lot of groceries for.
No, so but my wife's a good cook. She's a very good cook.
That's
so
awesome.
she manages a childcare center. But when there are cooks not in, she does the cooking for the whole place.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow, yeah. That's serious cooking on a serious scale.
Serious cooking, like Christmas.
Yes,
Christmas is like 19, 21 people. Bang, done.
Wow, yeah, that's huge. I'm a salsatier and gravy and things like that. I mean, I can cook. I grew up, I was the oldest girl, and I grew up cooking for the whole family on the big holidays. That was my job in the house, was to prepare and cook these weekend meals and with my parents. So
what's your favorite Easter dish?
What?
What's your favorite Easter dish?
So deviled eggs.
Okay.
What about you?
Really?
We just have roast.
Just a roast? Yeah. Love roast. Yeah. What about you, Ankit, during the springtime festival? What's your favorite?
So there are a lot of dishes. I mean, we make in India. I mean, full of dishes basically. But I like. No, I don't know what to say because. So basically, I know how to cook a lot of, different cuisines or food basically. So I cook pastas with the bread or something like that.
So baked breads over Easter for some reason just smell and taste so good. It's almost like the end of winter because bread is more of your heavier meal, part of the meals in the winter. But there's just something about that baked bread on Easter that just, a lot of sweet rolls. Type breads and sweet breads. But we're not cooking a lot this year. Like Willie, we don't have the big gathering. And you don't want to have all of that leftover food and everything. Thank you. So, and I forgot to make my tea this morning. So, from Money Master's Cup. So Nick and I we're celebrating our 4th year meeting because we met around this time at PBS, and then the next year we went to PBS Mother's Day actually, and we had these cups made for. But I also got my Easter cup, so flowers and stuff. But no, it's to me I feel like I'm waking up in spring, right? I just, everything's bright colors and I guess it's the same in India. And I can't imagine what is today like in India?
It's all locked down. I mean, people are at home. It's summer in North India, and I think if you go a little upwards, so they have a good weather.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's a lazy Sunday today, basically.
It's a lazy. I asked my sister, what is she doing, because she's like me. We're 10 years almost exactly to the day apart, and we're identical, like identical twins, and except she has red hair and I have blondish brown, and we everything that we do just seems to be identical, right down to the house numbers. We lived in different cities and our house numbers. And then she moved here and our phone numbers were identical, but by one, and we didn't ask for it. So it's just weird. We wake up in the morning in two different cities and we're wearing the same clothes and we didn't even shop together. So, I mean, but
it's the same psyche or maybe telepathy.
Yeah, right. And but we're both like this energy, big parties, families. But she's the same way. She goes, it's just me and my daughter and Ralph, and we're quiet. It was almost kind of solemn and sad, but happy too, because we're still alive. This is what we say. We count our blessings. We're both the same way. Our glass is always full. Yeah. And but we're like, we were always together this day, right? And we're but we are. And then I told her we are in so many ways. And we're going to, like Ankit and I said, we're going to live today to celebrate together later. And
that is what, yeah.
And then we're going to go to India and we're going to just celebrate for a week or two. We're going to pretend like we're having a wedding. Yeah. Or we'll just find somebody and you know what? Here's the thing. My sister and Ralph just got married, but they couldn't have a big celebration. But they went ahead and got married. And so we'll just go over there and have a big celebration. We'll do their wedding. And I'm going to tell them that too. I'm like, sorry, guys, we're going to India. Not sorry. We're going to India and we're just going to have this big wedding. But anyway, so but she said, that they're cooking the typical. We always do deviled eggs, ham. I don't know why pork is such a big thing, but ham and what else? Potato salad. Potato salad and deviled eggs always go together. But it's more like a picnic for us, right? And then some kind of sweet. And usually I make have you ever heard of a pig picking cake?
No.
Okay. No. It sounds disgusting, right? But we do a thing called pig picking, but I usually make a pig picking cake, and it's a yellow cake with orange mandarins rather than stuff. You make it with orange mandarins in the cake, and then you layer the cake with a whipped pineapple and creams. And pudding, and so it's all like layered, but I didn't make it this year because I don't have anybody to eat it. It's too much cake for just two people. It's just too much cake. So so what do, right? You cut back on what you eat and you enjoy what you have. But anyway, Eka, do you eat any sweets? What's your favorite? What's your favorite sweet?
We have a lot of different sweets in India. I mean, my favorite sweet, if you say, it could be a cashew sweet, or maybe chocolate pudding, or chocolate cake, or maybe a good ice cream, or it depends on the taste bud. I mean, what I like. But I'm a firm believer that what I do is I try to create more flavors, basically. So what I do is sometimes my parents and my wife, she's always laughing at what I'm trying to do. But what I do is I take a cake and then I put some basically spices on those cake in form of spices, a peanut spice or something like that, and then have it like this. So it's like a spicy cake.
Right.
That's what I do with the chocolates as well. So whenever I have a chocolate, so I'll put some spices or something and then froze it a bit and then I'll have it.
We have cakes spicy, like what you're talking about, like carrot cake. And another one is prune cake. And then apple cakes. They're spicy. And they're very, very.
I don't put the spices like this. I put spices in the form of nuts, basically.
Okay,
so
yeah.
Maybe a fried peanut or a roasted peanut with some spices, and then put it on the cake. Fill it in between so that you can't see those peanuts, and then once you take a bite, you'll have those nuts flavor. So I like nutty things basically.
I like nutty things. I love to take pecans with maybe a little bit of sugar just so that it sticks to it, a little bit of butter and cinnamon and bake it.
Yeah.
And it comes brittly, right? Like a little brittle. And then I like to sprinkle them on the icing or ice cream because of the cinnamon or nutmeg. Nutmeg is always good.
If you consume Nutella.
Nutella. Yeah.
So take one bread with Nutella and one with the Szechuan sauce and put it together and maybe toast it for some time.
Yeah.
So it will be chocolate, chili chocolate.
Yeah, that's like a cake, right? So another big thing around here is, and I don't have one. Well, I've got one I can show because I got one from last year that nobody ate. But chocolate bunnies, right? Big chocolate shaped sculpt bunnies are real popular. But my son was a big fan of chocolate covered marshmallows, which is a big thing here. Is the big chocolate covered marshmallow shaped like an egg, and I would make sure even up until the time he was 25 last year that he had them, you know, and it's funny because he was staying with us last year, and he came downstairs and he went straight to. I had a basket for him, just like as if he were 5 years old. He went right to the basket, grabbed the basket like it was his, and he pulled out the first thing he pulled out was the marshmallow chocolate to this day. So the mailman did not pick up his box, and in there I had put some chocolate covered marshmallow eggs for him, but the mailman didn't pick up the box yesterday. It was still.
I was about to ask you whether he got the box or not. So I mean,
no, he still hasn't had it. I had to plan for them to pick up the box, and I had it scheduled. I paid for it. I prepaid for it, and I had it sitting exactly where they told me to set it, and nobody came to get it. So I don't know what happened. But you know, I guess eventually they'll come get it. I don't know what to do. I emailed them and asked them what to do, but I, you know, didn't want to drive to the post office. You know, they're asking people not to do that. So, but yeah, really, like you're trying to get your daughter's stuff packed up.
Yep. Trying to get it done. I am. My faith is in the Catholic religion, and one of the things we have is Saint Thomas. Saint Thomas, during his lifetime, went to India.
Oh yeah.
From Israel, he travels to India, and in India he passes away. So what I did was look up Google Map and see if I could do the walk from Israel to India, and sort of track it by miles. And from there, it went a step further. So I said, okay, the three wise men traveled from the east to Nazareth, Bethlehem. So I said, okay, I'm seeing if I can duplicate that. So I'm going a step back. I'm taking that the three wise men were entrepreneurs.
Oh yes, they were. Right.
Because why would you make a trick? Why would you make a trick across the desert just because you're a king? What's the logic behind that? There's no logic.
I think they were kings of their trade, right? They each had bags of different different gadgets and
frankincense and myrrh. But,
right.
You know, what is that?
And which was part of their trade. So
part of the trade thing.
Right.
So I'm saying India was the oldest silicon route. Trade route.
The Silk Road. Yeah. So what I've looked is
So India, I mean, by far we are born businessmen in India. Generally, that's what we think of ourselves. And a lot of migrants come to India from different, because India was not India earlier. A lot of countries were a part of the Indian thing basically, and we were having a lot of rulers. So we had a lot of rulers around in India, maybe for more than 10,000 years.
Yes.
And after that, Britishers come in, and then things will happen.
Then the borders changed. So what I'm looking at is 3 kids from America are currently walking from Shanghai to the east, Istanbul. They're trying to. I think they're in Uzbekistan at the moment, but they're just walking along. So I said, well, so
I wanted to
I'm
do a drive from India to maybe some country, maybe Europe or somewhere else, because I like driving. So I mean, but I need good partners with me, because then only we can have a drive for so many days.
So
And really, I drove from Melbourne to Gold Coast when I was
yeah,
in US, Australia.
yeah,
wow,
yep,
that's
yep,
beautiful
yep,
out here.
yep.
I've done several long road trips when I was younger, and one of them was going from our East Coast all the way to Texas. I never went
Wow.
East Coast to California, but East Coast to Texas because I have family in Texas. So we've made that trek many times as a child, and
Mhm.
um, and that's a long road trip. And then one year I went through via New Orleans, which makes it a little bit longer, but a lot more interesting, right? You kind of change up your route
Yep,
and you
yep,
get to
yep.
see different flavor, taste different flavors and just the scenery, right? And everything. And but my son did the same thing. He went from New York to Big Sur, California.
Wow.
Last year. And
So
how
that would be
Wow.
for a week's drive.
what? He drove.
He drove for a week or so.
It took a whole week. They mapped it out and went through all different kinds of beautiful places and was sending me all kinds of photos. But they went a little bit of a long road trip and went into Montana but it was him and a best friend. And he was helping her move out there because she wanted to test the waters out there. And he did too. He thought, well, if it's a good job, I might stay. And so he went out there and with her, the end result is they thought it was going to be this great, wonderful job. She stayed. He kind of said, I don't think so. And he left. And then she came back later. But, but the trip, right, is the journey.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
and they're poor, right? And he doesn't try to get money from us or anything. He tries to do it. So their car broke down in the hottest part of the desert, the longest, hottest part.
Wow.
I really thought we were going to die. I really, really thought we were, because we had no radio signal. We had no way to call for help. And they somehow or now they found some shade for the car and got the car unheated and was able to get it back started again and got to a safety place. But yeah, and those are the experiences you think back on and you think, wow, next time I'll be a little more careful. But yeah, road trips, the journey, what you're talking about, doing a walking journey like that. I don't know that I
Mm,
could walk those
mm.
journeys.
Walking looks difficult, but certainly by car would be fun too as well, because you can roam around and you can experience a lot of places, which is difficult to do while walking, because you have to, I mean, have that energy constantly going on.
Mm,
I
mm.
mean, it's
We can do small marathon in between, maybe a marathon and some city, maybe whenever you are in city time. So that
yeah.
Mm.
What's a good movie to watch today if you're having to stay home and we've got tornado watches today, rain coming in. But one of the good things to watch today is Forrest Gump, right? And my favorite part is when he takes the journey across the United States and walks all the way across. But to me, that's a good, healthy, somewhat movie to watch on Easter. But those kind of journeys are hard. A friend of mine is Iron Man.
Okay.
If you
Mhm.
know what an Iron Man is,
Yep.
he
Mm.
did across the United States Iron Man trek a few years ago.
Wow.
Became very, very famous for that. He's the cowboy Iron Man. And then this year, but I would imagine it was canceled. He was going to do around the world. So
Wow.
yeah, so
Wow.
2020, he had been planning this for 2 years at least, um, and preparing for it. And he was going to do a full round of the world Ironman trek. Of course, there's some
Wow.
planes involved in some of this because you can't
Yep. Yep.
quite
Yep.
swim across the full ocean.
Mm.
But
Mm.
or he
so
probably
people are doing a lot of experiments. So what Facebook does is they have created a solar plane, maybe I mean, no man plane kind of a thing, and then they have put up the Wi-Fi signals there, and they drove around the world, and they were testing that whether they can supply Wi-Fi to
Oh,
their solar panels. Yeah.
wow, that is cool. And that's creative, right? That's got some but again, to me, I can't see me doing something like that. When somebody says, "Do you?" You know, I used to camp as a girl. I was a Girl Scout, but today, if you ask me, Holiday Inn, right? That's my camping, right?
Okay. In other words, what you're saying is you're a 5-star chick.
I am now. Yeah. I hiked a portion of the Appalachian Trail. My brother was a hiker, and I would meet him and drop food off for him because he was hiking the trail. And so I would drop off food and provision for him and the hikers. But and I used to love it. But yeah, I'm the 5-star chick now. You know. But my lake is a pool that has no fishies in it. It's a battery operated fish. I love battery operated fish. I've got one I've had for 25 years, and it swims, and I never have to feed it or clean the tank. I'll bring it in here and show it to you because everybody goes, Kim, my God, go get a real fish. And I'm like, why? I want a lake full of these because they don't die. And I have a battery operated dog too, but and he, or a robot dog, and he lives forever. But my real dog, I got a real dog once, and she didn't like it, so I had to put him away. But yeah, there's so much that we can be doing now and appreciating nature.
So one of the things I'm looking at is starting not so much Airbnb, but a shelter. If you're going to do the walk from Shanghai to Rome, put shelters along the way, so that it's mainly for founders when they burn out to recharge their batteries. To do
water,
the walk.
Put some water and some healthy snacks.
We had discussed about that startup thing, that a startup should work in some other country so that they learn and they try to do things on their own, because then only they will survive. So if they survive in different countries, they can survive in their own country, because that would be easy. And also, when you talk about the walking thing and the shelters, so we can maybe I am working with some people basically, although the project has not been started because of a lot of funding issues. So there could be a pod which would be set up on these highways for maybe 100 miles apart, and that pod will have only one person at one point of time. You just have to put the lock-in key, and then you can open the pod, and the pod is like a 5-star hotel inside. I have been to a couple of pods in when I was in Hong Kong, so I've stayed in those pods. It's like a 2.5 or 3 feet to 7 feet box. With the television and with all those plugins and with air condition and everything. And all. And it's beautiful because that is the best way forward, and that's how we can move on, because you just need one bed to roam around. You don't need a complete hotel sometimes. So by doing all these trips, basically, we can set up pods in between. That would be great. And I'm also working on a GPS tracking highway system where people, once they go out, they can track themselves. So suppose I'm going from Melbourne to Sydney, and I stuck somewhere. So what should I do? If my phone signals are not working, if I don't know what to do, and if I don't have insurance, or if I don't have a satellite signal, what should I do? So there will be checkpoints where I will be keep tagging myself, or whenever I go around, those checkpoints will track me that where am I. So if I finish from for position A, and then I am not able to reach out the position B in given period of time, that means I'm in between somewhere, and I'm stuck because I'm not able to reach out to that position. So I'm trying to work on that, but that requires a lot of funding and for the prototype as well. And that is where we stuck.
So the other thing you can do, and it's something that I'm experimenting with, and I work with an inventor who has really made great headway with this, is to make each of those little portable units completely solar power, right? So
the problem is that we can do a solar power, but who will take the security of those things? Because in those areas, it's difficult to secure those places. So what we thought of doing is, because we have a lot of small, midways or highways hotels or motels basically in between. So those people will get a job while doing all those things,
Right.
and those people will secure it, because suppose if there's a problem, I can't go there and help the person
Right.
who is stuck. So the people who are the locals, they will go and help them. So we just
Yep.
have to verify them whether they are because they'll get a job. We'll create a platform, and they will be the person who will serving it. We just have to manage it like a Uber.
Yep. Absolutely.
There you
Absolutely.
go. I mean, and it doesn't.
And the only one issue that happened 2,000 years ago and is still happening today is thieves and vandalism.
Yeah.
They had that way back, and it's
I'm just, I just get so tired of the thieves and vandalism. And I have that problem in my business too, right? And we've even had somebody embezzle money from our company,
wow.
which Nick and I are managing. But it happens. It happens in business, and this is what I told Nick. These are conversations we need to have when we have a startup business.
Yes.
And how, and how could you have prevented it? Well, we put in, you can have contracts, you can have all of these things in place. And I'm going to tell you how it would really be prevented is if the law enforcement really enforced, but they don't. They don't. The law enforcement says, oh, well, we're going to consider that more civil, even though it's a crime. Take them to civil court and get your money back through civil court. But it's a crime. You just said it was a crime. Yeah, but it's a white collar crime, and I'm like, seriously.
But in India, what happens is that the lawyers or the legal attorney, they are helping those people as well. So it's not about me, because if I did something wrong, and if someone is trying to file a case against me, I will go to a lawyer, and lawyer will say that you have done everything right. I will save you. Just give me some money.
Right. It's all about the lawyers. It is the whole, the legal system. First off, Nick is, all right, Nick's not here. So yeah. Nick's not here. Nick, if you're here and listening. So anyway, so lawyers write the laws, right? Yeah. And now they have written the laws. Many years ago, you could actually represent yourself and your company in this country, right? In many states. And I think now all states have adopted the new rules. But you had to you could help somebody many years ago, right? If you were smart and understood law, but you weren't taking money for it, so you weren't considered practicing law, but you were just smart and you can help them. Well, today you can be arrested for doing that because that's considered practicing law without a license. And you have to if you have a company, your company cannot be represented by you. Yeah. In any legal action, you have to hire a lawyer. Namaste.
Namaste. Sorry, it just got a bit late. I love watching your shows. So I was a bit.
It's like having you on and watching live, right? It's like having a cup of coffee with people from all over the world, and
absolutely.
And today we were talking about we're literally connected all the way around. Yes. What are you drinking, man, Kit? What have you got there? Share with me.
I'm having a Dalgona coffee.
Okay. Delicious.
I'm having a Colombian coffee.
Wow. Billy, what about you?
Well,
I've got a flat white.
Flat white.
Now I already have my coffee in the morning, so now I'm drinking my tea. And I mix my teas different. I have loose leaves, but I have one spice tea that I love. It's got all different kinds of just spices from all over the world that just make me feel good. So, and then lemon water. I drink lemon water every day. So, but yes, let's toast to a happy day. Now, Rakesh, do you celebrate the springtime events that?
Absolutely. We have from where I come from in Kerala, we have a spring festival on the 14th. That is Tuesday, which is called Vishu. And in other parts of India, it's called Bihu in Assam, and there's similar festivals all over India. It's a spring festival, which we because my sisters and I we were talking about on one of the chat programs, and we were saying that this time in India, because they're both in India, that vegetables are so expensive. Normally we put fresh fruit and vegetables and things like that and pray to it. But this time they say, well, vegetables are so expensive, we're just going to put grains.
I'm telling you. Oh my gosh, our eggs went from $1.12 a dozen to $4 a dozen.
Doesn't.
$4 a dozen. I could not believe it. And I know that's still not very expensive, but I mean, I've been paying $1.12 a dozen for all of these years, and you know, but they just started home delivery from the little country store up the street from where I live, so we can either call them or we can go online. I guess everybody's kind of going to this home delivery service, or we can order it and drive up there and pick it up on the outside. We don't even have to go in. And I noticed that they have one. They don't let you go through both doors anymore. They have an entrance and an exit now, and they never had that before. And they clean the carts for you. So they have one person there wearing a mask and a shield. It's just like Star Wars to me, right? We're gonna have that mask. I'm telling you guys, we're gonna have it. Darth Vader is coming. But they wear their mask and almost like a jacket, right? They're gloves, they're hazmat, and they wipe down the cart before they hand it to someone. And every cash register has a big shield. And I thought, wow, that's pretty interesting what we've converted to. So I don't know.
Really good.
Yeah, so I don't want to. Didn't really want to. But we should talk about a little bit about the statistics of the coronavirus, so that we can still encourage people to stay home. Unfortunately, the United States has surpassed, I think, everyone in the deaths today. It's a very sad day for the United States. We're over 20,000. Of course, we're not doing the count over the weekend. But we exceeded over 20,000, which is, I think, more than what Italy has done. Italy is starting that plateau like Australia is. They can feel it because they did the containment. And they said that they can literally start to feel the plateau. The United States, we literally just shut down our last state yesterday. How stupid is that? Our last state, we did it by states. And we shouldn't have done that. There should have been a pandemic.
Across the board.
Right. There should have been a pandemic team that came in from the day one and said, this is what we're doing. And this is how it's done, and there's no questions. Do you know that they're still going to school in New York? The children are still.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're still going to school. And it was debatable as to whether they were going to cancel it.
We
Wow.
are close to 15
Gobsmacked.
March.
They should be smacked. The mayor and the governor should be locked up.
And I'm surprised that Governor Cuomo is his own brother is suffering from COVID-19, and they talk a lot of things like they are doing all these things in New York and they have to sustain it, and they are sending kids to school. That is not acceptable.
And what they have done, they haven't really done anything to sustain it. They never really stopped the subways, from what I'm told. And they've asked.
No one is there in New York. I mean, if you talk about, because a lot of people are traveling to New York for work and they are not traveling, so maybe locals, they're not going around because of the situation. So who is going to those places?
Their brain. Fortunately, people are born with a brain, and so you've got some people who are saying, okay, but they set up tents to handle the processing of the people. So Central Park has turned into a massive shelter, and I think they were trying to use that herding process. I don't know what they were doing, but I was just reading this morning, and I was so furious. I couldn't contain myself, because it was too late for me to go work out. And so I had to stop reading and calm down a little bit, because the mayor said, well, the governor's just proposing we might close the schools. And Wait, I thought all schools were closed. What is wrong here? What is wrong
You know,
with her?
even an animal protects its young. I don't understand what is wrong with these politicians.
Well, because we're under a Trump administration, and that's not the way he thinks. He's a businessman, and businessmen don't think that way. He's not a politician. He's not a scientist. And we got the old Mayor Giuliani, who is definitely not a scientist, who's definitely just a businessman, appointed as our science advisor for the president. So there's nobody. They finally put Dr. Fauci at the head, but there's no control. That you're not controlling all the states. So no. So our death toll is going to continue to climb. The president was banking that he was going to return everybody on Easter, and that didn't happen. And I think where he made his mistake was, again, he's a businessman. He thought let a few in, but they didn't realize that they were 10 days behind the ball.
Mm.
But businessman is a subset of human. A businessman is a subset of human, and human is a subset of animals. I've seen videos of a mother deer, standing in the way of a predator to save the little deer. And these people, they are going against every basic animal instinct. It is. I have no words.
The anger is okay. I'm a mom, okay, and most people call me a pit bull, right? Because when I get angry and I bite, that's it. When I get angry enough to go in, that's it. You're not going to get rid of me, and I'm that angry right now. I am that angry, and politicians have had to deal with me in the past, and I have made laws change, and I only do it when I have the facts to back me up 100%. Okay. And a lot of times I'll go after something and I'll talk to the attorney that's involved, and I'll go, really? So what odds do you have of winning this? And they'll go 50%. I go, good. You just gave me 150% chance of winning. I am that angry right now. And I need to calm down and really focus on what's important. And that's, making sure, one, we survive, my friends and family survive. We start building a brighter future for us, like what we were talking about earlier, a business of trekking across different places and having the establishments there to take care of the people. So these are the things we need to focus on, but there will be some accountability, because these are the poor decisions that should have never been. Like you said, this goes against every grain of nature to survive as a human. But they're thinking about themselves. They're thinking about the money. They're thinking about popularity, and I don't know what else. I haven't figured it out, and I'm devastated. I'm devastated that my leaders would do this. I mean, even my own governor didn't shut everything down. And I think North Carolina is ranking the highest after New York, because we're well over 3,000. We're like 3,600 deaths.
Here's the question comes to my mind, that when a team doesn't play well, we can, or maybe a club can remove the captain at any point of time. But
Right.
we are not doing the similar thing for our politicians if they are not accountable in such serious situations.
Right.
I think there should be right of recall in every democracy.
Yeah,
There should be a right of recall.
Because if you are not doing anything in this situation, how will you survive and what will you do? Because if you are doing everything in a good situation, that anyone can handle it. But
Yeah,
the real
absolutely.
personality comes in when you are strong, or what you are doing at the time of crisis.
And the thing is that it's like a parent, like you were saying. Even the mother bear is going to give her life for her baby, right? Even a mother bear is not going to. She's going to face fear down and say, I'm going to do what's right for my child before anything else. And our leader has to have that in them, right?
Yes.
And when they don't, we all suffer. And as we see the numbers, and I guarantee you by Monday morning, which Monday here nobody works. Easter Monday. But Monday or Tuesday morning, when the stats are renewed, we're going to see a horrific rate of deaths. I think it's going to be way above. I would think that the world is close to 1 million, if not just cresting over 1 million right now. So,
Kim, you guys don't work on a holiday during the crisis as well?
Doctors will work, but everything shuts down, including the liquor stores. And
Really?
in the South, we have this religious thing going on, so they're not allowed to sell alcohol and liquor on Sunday, and I think Monday everything closes. Yeah.
No, but what about the Corona crisis? I mean, for Corona, whatever things is required, people are not working on weekends to supply or help those people, or logistically, or in terms of doing the numbers, anything like that.
I'm
No,
not. What about you, Willie?
the essential service still working.
Essential services,
Yes, still
doctors,
working. Yep.
but
Our government is working 24/7 throughout India,
Yeah.
including everyone. And if there is a
Okay.
situation, I mean, Rakesh ji must be aware about it. If there is a situation, we work 24/7 and we try to manage it out the way we can. We don't bother whether it's a holiday or a festival or a religious thing. Things which have to be done in certain scenario. And I'll tell you, a lot of people in their religion, they don't burn the bodies. But during this situation, we are trying different ways to decompose the body so that we won't, create such a panic, or maybe because of the airborne thing and all those things. So people are going out of their religion manner and doing a lot of things which they generally don't do. And you know that when in India someone died, so we do a 13 days of
Mourning.
peaceful, that's what we do basically. But we are not following anything because of the current situation.
well, it's
Yes.
too big of a scale, and it is driving us to do things differently. Just like when we go to war, right? When we go to war, we work differently. We all chip in. I'm working nonstop, and then when I'm not doing this, I'm working on something else. And I think that's just our nature. Some of us are just designed that way, but many people they have certain practices. I was shocked this morning. Very early this morning, I heard of fire trucks, ambulances, and police cars going somewhere, which meant probably a car accident. But I heard all three. I can recognize all three different sirens, and I heard all three going in massive amounts. And I'm like, you know what I think? I think one call, but they're also bored and eager to get their sirens going out because nobody's had to do this in a while. I'm thinking they all go, I'm going. Don't alarm, we're all going. But no, But here's what's bothering me. I received a text message, and I haven't been able to confirm it with anyone yet. And I've actually reached out to David Arnott, who was on our show the other day, because he is from the health sector of the media. And what I heard is that in the U.S., we're firing all of our doctors and nurses.
That's a surprise to me.
We can't pay them, so we're firing them.
So you have so much of, stimulus package, $2.2 trillion. And you're saying that you put the money to pay the doctor.
I want to tell you what, that too, I want to, you know what, because I haven't received mine. And I heard that some people have and some people haven't. And I filled out forms and everything. But I'm going to tell you what, I bet I can go through the accounting books, and you're going to see a hand touching every one of those from the politicians. I hate saying it, but somewhere there's a middleman taking all the money. The $2.2 trillion, like anytime I see a government bid, I've actually seen them where they are ordering bolts for airplanes at the Air Force. They literally have to go through a bid process, and they'll pay, $100 a bolt. And then by the time you're finished with the process, it costs $1,000 a bolt if you pay for all the people who had to process the paperwork. No, we don't think smart over here. We think process, and everybody's got to touch the money. Everybody's got to touch the process, and that's got to stop. All of this has got to end. This is why I want everything to go blockchain for insurance. I want to get rid of insurance, medical insurance, and I want people, because you should have to pay for medical care, and you pay into blockchain, right? And it goes to the healthcare system. And when you get treated by the doctor gets paid, because that's what blockchain is a handshake of business, right? That's all blockchain is. It's that payment process. And the first place blockchain should have gone was to medical care.
Talking about insurance, I saw a post on Facebook some 6 months ago, and I've never seen it since. But it talked about the remuneration of the CEOs of insurance companies, and the minimum. And these are figures of salary per day in the United States. They said that this could be there in Europe also, similar figures, and I do not know the rest of the world. The minimum was about $150,000 per day, and the highest was $325,000 per day. This is what the CEOs of insurance companies are getting.
Oh, yeah. So the Obamacare.
Per day.
Yeah.
Per
so
day.
If anyone read the Obamacare bill, which I did because I was recovering probably from a surgery or something. But anyway, I read the whole bill. It was like 3,600 pages. No bill should be that long. No bill should be bigger than the Constitution. But when I read it, but the result was we were being forced, all of us, forced to buy insurance of some kind. So immediately you're going to do what? You're going to monopolize the insurance industry. Now, Obama said, well, nobody can be turned down. But to me, I would rather pay the medical doctor than an insurance company, right? So then we still pay Medicare. So when we work, we pay to Medicare, and now we each have to buy insurance. If you don't buy insurance, if you're found to not have paid for insurance to some insurance company, at the end of the year, you are fined a huge penalty fee on your taxes. A huge penalty fee. And it didn't matter if you were a young student in college. And the whole thing was they said, well, we're going to allow your parents to keep you on insurance until you're 26. And I'm like, how stupid is that? I was buying my own medical insurance at 21 because it was affordable back then. But they made it so that insurance company can monopolize. And they started out cheap, and then they just jacked it up because they said, we're going bankrupt. So they jacked the prices up. So, but what happened is the insurance companies can turn you down for treatment. Namaste. Happy Easter, my friend.
Yeah, thank you to all of you.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you're able to join us today, and everyone today, because I know it's a special day. But what I'm going to finish up on this is that so what it did is it allowed insurance companies, and nothing. It was against our Constitution, because you should never force people to buy a commercialized product, first off, in this country, and punish them if they don't. And that's what happened. So then every year the insurance company kept going up. So my insurance a year ago was $200 a month. It will be $2,000 a month by June.
Good God, tenfold.
$2,000 a month by June. And they turned me down for all my treatments. And my medical treatments went up because the doctors have to buy a certain kind of insurance.
Yes.
So it's all, like you were saying, the insurance people make a lot of money, but the doctors don't get paid a lot of money anymore.
Yes.
So for each treatment that cost me $7,000, my doctor's only getting 10.
Good God.
Just getting the rest, insurance companies, because the doctors have to buy insurance 2 times fold to cover themselves. And no, it's a mess. Maybe we can reboot with COVID-19, but they're firing all of the doctors, according to my source, and the nurses, because they can't pay them. Now I'm wondering, why can't we pay them? Because I paid my insurance every month. I know my next door neighbor paid his insurance every month. And if you didn't pay your insurance, you paid $3,000 to $7,000 a year penalties. Where did that money go? And that's what I kept asking our government. If these people who couldn't afford insurance all year have to pay $3,000 to $7,000 on their taxes, additional $3,000 to $7,000, where does that money go? Who's pocketing that money?
Yeah.
And they wouldn't answer that question. They wouldn't answer that question. It wasn't like it was going to Medicare to help the poor people. They wouldn't answer that question, and I was getting into trouble. And then guess what happened to me? I got
You
audited.
get audited. Yeah.
And they left me alone. They've been bugging me for 3 years, and they've been everything I show and prove, they discredit and go, no, we're not going to count that, even though I can show them. And it's been 3 years. So they've been beating me up because I've been questioning them because I'm not more powerful than them. So no, and I know I'm right. I know that somebody's pocketing that money. So, but that's
This is like a mafia.
oh yeah, that's
I just have a basic question: that how much money one needs to cover their medical, expenses in a year. Basically, I'm maybe we could have a range of that. Suppose I'm 37, so could be 35 to 40. I need around $1,000 yearly to manage myself or my medical expenses. And once you grow maybe 60 plus, you need around maybe $20,000 to manage your expenses in terms of the medical bills. And if we do that, when if we cover the people's medical bills completely, because when you buy insurance and when you go for the claim thing, the insurance company will say that this is not covered, this is not covered, this is not covered, and this is not covered. So I don't know what's covered. And you are paying those money every year regularly without breaking, so that whenever you want to use it, I don't want everyone to use their insurance because everyone should be stay and healthy. But if you have to use it, and then at that time they say that you can't use it because this is not covered. So I don't know. I mean, how we can. And
Or
those
the limits for operations are set in 1849.
yeah.
You know?
I cringe.
And honestly, I'll tell you, in India, everyone thought that Obamacare was free for all Americans.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what we thought.
Yeah, we thought so.
Obama.
I'm going to
Seriously.
get in trouble. I'm going to get in trouble, but Nick's not here. So Obamacare, maybe I shouldn't say this, but I always said that he probably went and bought a lot of insurance stock, right? And then he forced us all to have to buy insurance. And so insurance went up and up and up. Obamacare was his retirement. There you go. That's what Obamacare.
Wow.
But here's the thing. When I read the bill, the first thing out of my mouth, and some people claim to have read the bill, but they speed read, and some people are good at that and can catch it. But the first thing I caught is that it would allow insurance companies to monopolize, and it was going to force doctors out of business. So what they should have done was reversed it a little bit, done a blockchain process, more like Medicare, and everybody paid to that because what's happening is, as an employee, I'm paying for Medicare, which I don't get to use at all. And will never get to use. And then I'm paying for insurance. I have to pay for both. But I'm not getting benefit from both because my insurance company can deny me for all my treatments. So, but I have to buy it. If I don't buy it, then I have to pay a penalty. So I'm screwed either way. So I would rather then at that point not pay it and pay my doctor directly, right? And so many doctors were trying to leave the system so that people could just pay them directly. But what screwed them was the Obama bill, where it said people would have to pay a penalty if they didn't buy insurance. So then these people could not go to a doctor. So we have all of these doctors who went to try an independent practice where people just come and pay them cash back in the old days, right? And it was like $25 a visit. And that's how low it is, $25 a visit, right? What you got, Sasha? And then I know Ankit's got.
Of course, as much as I hear the last few weeks about U.S. healthcare system, the less I understand it. I thought that I understood it much better about, say, a couple of months ago. Now I really don't understand. And I don't understand really because what's happened in Canada, at least in Ontario where I live. This is health insurance card. It has my name, it has a number, It has my picture, signature, and so on. All I need, if I have any health problem, I have to reach either a doctor or a hospital or whatever is medical care provider I need at that particular moment, show this card, and I'm getting care. I'm not saying that this is the best care in the world of all times and nothing like that ever existed anywhere. No, I wouldn't suggest that. I think it's probably on the system on a scale from 1 to 5. I would say it's 4. I wouldn't say it's 5 because sometimes treatments, sometimes you wait a little bit longer, but they have cancellation. So at the end of the day, you'll get whatever treatment you need, whether it's MRI or some CT scan or whatever it might be. So I can't even comprehend the system where you are paying, as you said, thousands of dollars a month. This is covered and this is not covered, and this is covered, but you have to pay deductible, whatever it might be. This is, to tell the truth, it's sick. That makes me sick, even to think about it. And where it is, it's not in Zimbabwe, it's not in somewhere in like Peru or anywhere. It's in United States of America. That makes me think. It's horrible, really.
I really wonder,
So here we go. I found it. It was hidden out there, but the hospital administrators and medical administrators have been threatening their physicians for speaking out about the COVID-19 crisis and that we haven't been managing it properly, and probably maybe politically speaking out. And but they're speaking out for a reason. Believe me, doctors do not step out of their box, especially politically, unless it's 100% necessary. I mean, they just don't. I mean, they're there. All they want to do is care for the people, right? Yeah. But that's one of them. It's about the just like the guy with the ship, right? Our big captain of the ship. He spoke out when he shouldn't have, but he was scared for his people. And so, it's caused all kinds of controversy. His job, I'm surprised that he hasn't been court-martialed, which I'm sure he will face in the end. But you should never have to face court-martial of any kind or being fired because you care about you and you care about your people, right? And so here again, how fortunate are your countries that all you have to do is face every day, I just need to stay home, find peace, be comfortable, be happy. My government's going to send me a check. I'm not going to have to worry. And we'll face tomorrow together. We're not doing that in this country. We'll face this together tomorrow. So
these administrators of these hospitals, are they from some country where there's no freedom of speech?
No, they belong to a specific cult.
People think we have a freedom of speech. We don't. Let me tell you, and all too often, I've been watching media, especially during this time, and I go, why are they asking such stupid, dumb questions in the same one over and over? And it's funny because some other people have spotted it. And it's because sometimes before you go into a press conference, you're told a little bit about what questions you cannot ask. I've even interviewed people, we've kind of reviewed but we're the kind of people that we don't care. Nick and I just want to tell the story. So we're very careful about, we want everything to be positive, right? But I noticed, these questions are being controlled. A lot of these press conferences are being controlled. And that's what this is about, is that a lot of the doctors have been speaking up and nurses have been speaking up and probably going on social media and crying. Have you seen a lot of that?
But I think if doctors get united, because they share a lot of good platforms. But if they are also not united, what we feel in India, that doctors don't share their, insights. Because they have to run two different lives. One is as a doctor, and one is at a regular person. And I think they're not sharing their thoughts around the world because they're in a lot of conferences and they know what's going on inside those hospitals. And I think that's why we are not getting the right picture. And someone like Dr. You or maybe someone should stand up and do something because we need a revolution to manage this medical or pandemic crisis. Because whenever there's a pandemic, be it a war, be it something natural, whatever it is, you have to figure out how you will manage the medical supplies, how you will manage those medical infrastructure, and you need more doctors. So,
Well,
and we are, yeah.
we need somebody who cares. You're right. You're right.
And Tim, you know that, I mean, couple of days back we have Robert Arnott from the NBC thing, and he was showing the mobile, portable this thing ventilator, which they use it for army.
Hmm.
So why can't we use those things? I was surprised to see there's a small box which is kind of a ventilator which gives you oxygen, and we are not using it.
No, we've got so many things that we're not allowed to use. You've got to go through so many channels, and it's about this and power. Okay, it's all about power, and it's like somebody said, it's like the mafia, and I have said that we have become where organized crime is our government and it's legal, right? Because the lawyers write the laws. They are the lawyers, and it's all. And Nick and I have been talking about this on our show. It's all the top 1%. And I have been saying this for years, but we have already designed it so that students, right? The student loans are so expensive. I know students who have graduated with, $200,000 debt. Well, and I told Nick, I said, this is nothing more than enslaving our children, because now they become a slave to whoever owns that loan. And odds are it's China, because most of our banks are owned by China in America. I don't know about your banks. We've got very few private banks left in America, but a lot of the banking industry is owned by China. But I told him, I said, we have a system right now where our children, the middle class, are graduating with these grand degrees that cost $200,000, but with a debt so high that they have to pay back. It's slaves. They're slaves. They have to, no ifs, ands, or buts, work their tail end off for the top 1% now. Just done. And there's something wrong with the system. When I went to college, I was able to pay off my college as I went through school. I worked, I co-opted, and I paid off my debt as I went through school. It took me a few extra years, but I didn't have to take out a $200,000 loan. And, I made decent money. But even today.
But I believe that a lot of institutions in US and maybe in different parts of the country, in the world, they got a lot of aid from government. And still they charge a lot of, fees or maybe the money or the monthly, whatever the things required from students as well. So, is it a non-profit organization, or they are also be able to earn profits and then they distribute between their professors? I think Mr. Krishnan would have a much better idea how the system works, because I believe that in India people are minting money while doing the educational colleges.
It's become an industry. There's no doubt about it. Professors aren't paid very much. So I'm wondering where all this money is going. Some big scam out of all this.
Somebody's got their hand in that pot.
The best part is that they can earn the money. That's fine. But they're not coming forward in this situation to give something back to the society.
See, my sister, my younger sister, is a professor in a private, St. Xavier's College in Mumbai. Okay. It is now a independent kind of thing. She doesn't get paid. Her salary is still decided by the government of India. She's not paid, crazy amounts of money. So where is all this money? I know the fees have gone up. From the time I studied, the fees have gone up to some crazy levels. And I don't know where all this money is going.
It's like my son's education was a total of $200,000 for 4 years.
4 years. I did my post-graduation before is a laughable amount. It was 3,000 rupees, which is in
Wow.
today's dollars
$50.
it is something like that. You know,
I was
it is
$80 a semester. $80 a semester.
a
plus
semester. And I think, you know, at that time we had the University Grants Commission, and our education was
have any.
subsidized. You know, we still got a good education. I've lived in so many different countries. I've survived and thrived, and I just wonder what's going on. You know,
I hear
blockchain will never happen, because I have many of my classmates who are bankers. They are determined to stop it.
Yeah.
Because the moment you do that, you are going to have all those crazy banking fees go out. So blockchain will never happen. Insurance are the other people who are going to make sure that your medical costs will be crazy high. So there has to be, you know, some sort of fix for this. You know, I don't say that I have the answers, but my guess is that a mixed economy, or some sort of limit on salaries for insurance companies or something like that. The CEOs, I have no idea. It sounds communist, but you know, if you're not allowed to speak in a democracy, well, that's also communist, isn't it? So I have no idea what is happening.
So, and let's talk about the education, because I think we
You know,
need.
Kim, I mean, how much money we are spending in India as a private to get an admission in an MBBS college? How much money
It's
was
crazy.
How much?
Then can you give the amount?
I think it's about $1 billion rupees, $1.25 billion rupees.
What about Kim? What do you think? If you want to earn a degree from a private college to be an MBBS, which is a 5 year course, what would be the expense for 5 years?
So if we did a 5 years with a master's program, or it would probably be at private school, be 250,000.
Willie, what do you think?
80,000 MBA.
What about MBBS?
Wow, I'm going there.
What about MBBS?
Not sure.
Doctorate. Medical.
Okay.
No, I didn't see. I just saw MBA, the cost of MBAs.
Sasha, do you have any idea what's the expense in Canada for to study medical?
Well, total expense would be probably $250,000, but there's a huge system of loans and grants, and it seems to me that the most difficult thing is it's not financial; it's just to get admission to a medical school or a law school. That's the biggest challenge of it all, because if you made the admission, it's 99% guarantees that you'll get the money. I was thinking a little bit more about the medical systems, the insurance companies, and so on. Well, it seems to me that it would be too difficult for a variety of reasons to absolutely get away from insurance companies and make direct payments to your professionals. A lot of people should do it, and probably doing it already now. But for majority of people, it would be a difficult issue. However, what prevents medical professionals? It's very difficult to implement, mind you, whatever I have in mind, but it's possible. At least nothing can prevent that. Hopefully in the future, that they will unite all medical professionals and put together their own insurance company. So see if they can do it. Let's see, starting January 1st, 2022. So from that point,
Maybe a family clinic insurance.
What's that?
Family
clinic insurance.
Oh, well, the purpose is that the medical professionals, well ahead of time, inform all patients that from now on, say January 1st, not 2022, no insurance of any kind will be accepted except this one, which will be owned by physicians, and therefore it will not try to make money, because from what I heard, I have to run tomorrow and start buying stocks of insurance companies because they're making so much money and they can't go wrong. So in this case, the insurance company will be just a vehicle to distribute all the insurance money to be collected, to be distributed among patients and doctors and so on. So it will be way much better and more fair deal to everybody, including patients and doctors, than what's happening now. What you're saying is that from doctors' perspective, they're getting very little money for their work, highly educated, very difficult, highly esteemed work. And the patients, in many cases, whatever treatments are not covered by present insurance companies, they cannot get the treatment. So again, they kept on top of the monthly payments to insurance companies, they still probably would end up paying out of pocket to practicing physician to do that. However, it's just one of many, many issues which obviously the United States will have to deal with. And the main problem is that there are now two United States of America. Look at this latest impeachment proceedings. It was 50-50 or somewhere close to it. No crossing the party lines. So the 50 goes this way, the 50 goes that way. That situation cannot last much longer. It has to be decisive battle where either Democrats will kill all this, how do you call it, Republicans, and will get presidency, Senate, House, as they already have, or vice versa.
I would just like to see a human in office. I am so sick. We've had parties for years, and party favors go with parties. And I just want to do away with it. I want a real human in office that gives a hoot about me, not about the Democrats, not about the Republicans, but somebody who just says, yes, we are here for you. Like David M. Walker. David M. Walker really cares about the Americans. He's not going to run for office. He should. He would have me behind him 100% because he cares about what happens to humans. He cares about our economy. He cares about our health. And I mean, I'm sitting here and I'm looking at our world leaders. We haven't flattened. We haven't even come close to flattening in the U.S. Australia is, they started to flatten. Italy has started to flatten because they have been locked down for a while. Canada, I don't even think you guys felt the bite.
We're flattening, but we're not there yet. It still goes, but the curve is now getting flatter. So I think that way.
But the U.S., we're still on that climb right now because we didn't lock down the whole U.S. And people, that's the only way. That's the only way to stop this right now. Is, you know, and put that up. Stay at home. That's the medicine. And the doctors want you to, so that you don't make them sick. And unfortunately, our doctors are being fired
Just a second.
for voicing out their feelings. That's what I've read. But there you go, people. That's what it takes. That's your pill. And as hard as it is for us as a culture, that's it. That's as simple as it gets. That's the pill we need to take. Stay at home. Only go out if you have to or you need to. But don't stay at home just for you. Stay at home to protect other people. I mean, it's hard as heck for me not to be with my sister today. It really is. You know, and all the little kids and everything. But I was shocked, dumbified when I read that the children are still going to school in New York. I almost think that's a misprint somewhere. I keep looking and I'm like, no way. But it was in my news feed this morning in New York, what was going on. And I was, we gotta be smart. We gotta be smart.
That was like the picture when I saw all these people on the beach in Bondi. And I said, no, it must be an old photo. But apparently there were tons of people on the beach. Go figure.
I mean, you know,
What are police doing, Willie?
Sorry?
What is your police doing?
There were just too many people. The police couldn't do anything but just round them up slowly.
No, but there are strategy when you round one group of people, take them, then another group of people. Yeah, you can't arrest all of them at one time, but you can go by groups. Say 5, 6.
I think the Indian police do the best thing. They just take a stick and start beating people. Just straight off beating people.
are you crazy? Stay home. How many times do you have to tell you know, like your mom telling you, don't climb that tree. Don't climb that tree, right? And then you get switched for climbing the tree because you can't stop. You know, just stay home, people. This is what I tell people. This is the way I see Corona, right? I'm gonna stab Corona. But that, you know, Corona is up here too, right? Mentally. When I watched the movie 93 Days, which is a true story about the Ebola outbreak and how they prevented it in a city with 22 billion people. Corona is up here too, right? Mentally. Oh, who's watching Mother Airy? 3 days, which is a true story. Somebody's watching Mother Airy.
Not
In a
me.
city with 22 billion people. Corona is up here too, right? We got it 2 or 3 times.
Feedback loop.
There is a feedback loop. It's usually the show airing somewhere. Don't see it online. Let's make sure everything's turned off. Anyway, maybe it stopped. Okay, so but just use your brain, fight it the best way you can. Stay at home, do good practices, clean your hands. Make sure if you have to wear the right mask and wear it the right way, which we'll have Dr. Sagu on this week, and we actually have a video of him talking about it. But all of these things, celebrate life, appreciate every moment that you have right now, and that you're breathing well, and get through this. We eventually will have a vaccine. We keep talking about it. We've had people come on twice or 3 times last week and say in January, and not just from our country, from other countries. So they're looking very positive at having it. There have been new findings for treatments. We had Dr. Markowitz on, who shared with us that it's just as simple as utilizing the normal treatments for any respiratory issue, which are steroids, antihistamines, and things like that. So, you know, I think there was a lot of overthinking. And, you know, we just need to, you know, they keep saying a humidifier. I've got a humidifier going, you know, do healthy things, absorb the vitamin D. Be happy. Vitamin D makes you happy anyway, right? Go out in the sun and get happy. Smoke a few cigars. Even though I know the doctors keep saying don't smoke during this time, that's not good for you. But you know, just do things you enjoy and make you happy, because that also builds your immune system, right, Sasha?
Absolutely. Actually, I can't imagine when somebody staying at home, having all free time in the world, being able to read, to watch different programs and so on. Why would anybody be unhappy about that? I can't believe it, because people normally complain that they don't have time to do this and they're busy with work and they're busy with all that. Now nobody is busy. Now you have all free time in the world. You can do anything what you want. By the way, yesterday I saw absolutely fantastic documentary by the name The Epoch. I saw it on YouTube, and it's a fantastic program. It's interview with top physicians in the United States included, all analysis of everything what's happened with Chinese doctors. What they're saying is that it's beyond any reasonable doubts whatsoever that it originated in China, in province of Wuhan, and the suggestions that it came from bats through this the fish market, and it came from bats to human beings. It's absolutely false theory, because guess what? The bats are not being sold on this fish market. Never. So all this theory is has absolutely no merits whatsoever. So it was developed on purpose in the laboratory in China. Let's call a spade a spade. Why we're trying to be politically correct and say, well, you know what?
I love it. Thank you. I had one of my best attorneys who actually won a case that nobody's ever won before in North Carolina. She said that to a judge. I am going to call a spade a spade. I am not going to be politically correct anymore. And I'm like, I love this attorney. She was an ex-Marine who put herself through law school, so she's a little tough knot anyway, and just as beautiful as ever. But she goes, I'm tired of it. Yeah, let's call a spade a spade. We know the facts, circumstantial facts that add up enough in court many times will become a fact, will become substantial. You can take enough circumstantial facts and stack them and become substantial facts. A spade's a spade at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
But
that's when you have that.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
That's when you have a court that has jurisdiction.
Exactly.
In a situation like this, you have no court that has jurisdiction. All that you have is the United Nations, and the United Nations, the veto power is with China.
No, but
Right.
So, I don't see anything happening out of any international litigation.
wait.
So let me hear your views, Sasha.
Yeah.
There is international tribunal in Hague, in Netherlands, and when it takes on the case, now first all what we do is to convince them to take on the case. But if they do take the case, and if, let's say, any international body or United States, actually there are already lawsuits flying, not only from one entity in the United States, it's also from UK, from Israel, from a few other countries. There are already a few lawsuits flying around. So if international tribunal in Hague is taking case, and there would be a judgment against China, let's imagine that. It's not too difficult, in fact, to imagine.
It's already happened with the South China Sea, and nobody's bothering about it anymore.
No, but it didn't go to Hague Tribunal, because in Hague Tribunal you have to prove the damages what either country or individual, whoever suffered. For example, the most well-known case lately in Hague Tribunal was case against Russia Federation by former shareholders of UCOS, including Michael Khodorkovsky and others. Although he refused to participate in that case, but it was brought on his behalf and his partners and so on, and they won a judgment against Russian Federation for $53 billion. Okay, it's not trillion, but $50 billion, right? It's under appeal or so on. Because the consequences are as follow. What can you do against Russia Federation or China, for example, right? Well, supposedly, yes, you can do a lot of things. You can start arresting all the property of China, which is outside of China borders. You can arrest property. Let's say you have China has or Chinese companies have bank accounts in New York, for example, right? You can arrest these bank accounts, or they have property which is it has to be commercial property, not diplomatic property. You cannot arrest diplomatic property, but commercial property you can arrest, and all over the world, not just in the United States, but everywhere, all over the world, you can start arresting the commercial properties which belongs to China. And let's assume that China has a lot of valuable properties, including bank accounts or real estate or any resources, like natural resources owned by China, outside China, all around the world, and all that can be arrested in lieu of judgment. So it's not as hopeless as you might think.
Well, I just the way I look at it is that right now so many international companies have invested in China, so their property could be equally snatched by China.
But it's a problem of those international companies. They made at one point decision to invest and do operations in China. Obviously, they had to evaluate all risks associated with that, and hopefully, they've already made enough money to recoup some of its investment. Maybe not, but it should not deter the government of any particular country, including the United States, to launch legal proceedings, including auspices of Hague International Tribunal in Netherlands. And I mean, of course, it's nice to talk about international cooperation and working together. I just heard an interview with Gordon Brown, former Prime Minister of England, and that what he was saying is that international cooperation is very, very important in times like this. On the other hand, I would be skeptical about what kind of cooperation you can do with a country like China, which is denying, or at least at one point they denied that anything happened there. Their reporting is how truthful it is. It's to be seen. They are not cooperating on the data that they've gathered so far. So, beside nice words of international cooperation, I'm not so sure how it can go, how it can move along. Even G7, for example, G7 they didn't produce any single communique to how to deal with the problem. Furthermore, European Union, Italy is now complaining that no country of European Union offered help to Italy. So as a result, I'm not so optimistic about the future of European Union, in fact, especially with this coronavirus. So listening to Gordon Brown and seeing reality makes you think about the notion of international cooperation, how far it would go. As a matter of fact, neither China nor United States are really forthcoming with ideas of international cooperation at all.
I don't know. I have no idea where this is going to be, because it's such a strange situation, and
It
I
is
just hope.
strange. I mean, we all are numb.
But if you, I think, if
all
you, if
so numb.
But I think if we generally do a consensus around the world with the general public, people are a little hesitant to work with the Chinese, not about the Chinese people, but about the Chinese government, because the facts and things are not clear, and they are still not sharing the real situation. And if they are able to treat the people in thousands, as what the number shows, that means they have some kind of antibodies which they have developed, and they are not sharing it. So they are not working as a community; they are working for themselves, and then they started supplying the business around the world. So I think, that's what Japan did. So Japan was the first country who openly come forward and say that they don't want to work with China anymore, and they are shifting their complete business from China. And for that, they have a stimulus package. They have some $1 billion package only for
two,
shifting.
two, two
Yeah.
billion.
So I think, a lot of countries will follow the same pattern, but because it would be very early to say a lot of things, because a lot of have a lot of investments in China and in their own countries from Chinese. So I think they will play a wait and watch game, and then they will decide based on the strategy. But I think if things go like the way we are, discussing, that the people or countries will isolate China, it will be the loss for Chinese people, not for the China government. I think, because it's not about that we are against the Chinese, but it's more about the communist and how they are trying to hold the world. And as Rakesh ji said that the South China Sea, I think everything is gone in the back seat right now, because in the front seat we're talking about Corona. But I think Chinese, maybe once things will get to normal, you will find a lot of new developments happening in South China as well, because they are trying to utilize the situation. We have seen a lot of Chinese drones in our Indian Ocean during this period. So you never know. And you know that if you know that what's happening in our borders, Pakistan's army, they are doing a lot of heavy shelling right now. I don't know what's going on. People are fighting for Corona and trying to come as a united world, but still we are seeing a lot of disturbed situations in these countries.
So on Easter morning here, and just to share, remember the letter we had from Paulina about how great and wonderful life was, and 2 weeks later they're dying. So here's a post from Washington Post, a documented situation. And I'll read it to you because it's heartfelt, and kind of mingles with Paulina. But and they wrote this on April 9th. But anyway, jazz drifted through the air, mingling with laughter among old friends. Burgers were on the grill, drinks were being poured. It was the first Friday of March, and everyone among the tight circle of active and retired sheriff's officers who had been gathering annually for 20 years knew exactly where to be. Burt's, a legendary Detroit hangout. Donna Faye Collins, a popular 63-year-old commander in the Wayne County Sheriff's Office, who moonlighted as the Motown DJ and taught colleagues how to ballroom dance, made his way through the crowd and resplended in black on black tie and shirt. So they were all dressed up and having their annual event. He was happy at work. He told his friends, his family, he's healthy. Life was good. Nothing to worry about. What a night, he wrote on Facebook the next day. Less than 3 weeks later, at least 7 of the party goers were sick, down with COVID-19. Dozen more were ill at the sheriff's office, and Collins, a father of 4, was now dead.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
And he had just posted, I'm healthy, I'm happy. Couldn't be better. I mean, it was a big party they had. Across America, gatherings such as the one in Detroit are now banned by official decree. But in the near early days of the United States struggled with the coronavirus pandemic, and even well beyond. Birthday parties, weddings, dances, club meetings, concerts, and other large get-togethers continued, more or less as normal. The virus was here, but the party went on. Okay, guys, this is when I'm talking about our party. We got to get rid of our parties. And I'm talking about our political parties. But anyway, because this party favor was not something you wanted to take home with you. And all the people that were infected, how can we trace it back? How did all of those people become infected? And who was the infector spreading it? Who was the person carrying it? And then it goes on to continue. Now the country is continuing with the fallout COVID-19 clusters that were seeded as the President Trump was assuring America that the virus would just simply go away. Don't worry about it. And before authorities bothered to shut down gatherings that medical experts, including Dr. Fauci, had warned would be perfect vehicles for the disease to spread. I think what we are seeing now in a lot of places are the consequences of some of those events, said Harvard epidemiologist William Hennig. Once you have a large gathering, you have an opportunity for a large number of infection chains to start off and then go and continue on. And as we have seen that chart that Scarlett shared with us, how fast one person can spread the disease, and victim 31 in South Korea, she had infected over 6,000 people just in 10 days. That's one reason New Orleans, which held Mardi Gras anyways. So I found out about this, like I could not believe New Orleans still held Mardi Gras. Does anyone know what Mardi Gras is?
It's a huge festival, isn't it, of some sort?
Huge. It's massively huge, of people on top of people, over people, and throwing beads and people taking off their clothes. And it's just massively just okay. I'm not going to go any further because in terms of spread around there without being COVID is scary enough. But anyway, before the ban kicks in, they were lighting it up. And spring breakers were brazenly defying the stay-at-home guidelines. And they went out and did more than just, they did the normal standard. And I've been there during Mardi Gras, guys. It's not worth it. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention published a case study Wednesday showing that a person with mild respiratory symptoms who attended a funeral and a birthday party may have facilitated the spread of the coronavirus in all of Chicago. And if you look at Illinois is like what, the fourth highest right now? I would have to go look. Hold on just a minute and I'll tell you. But Chicago, so one person brought all of that into Illinois. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're eighth right now. 18,000 infected, probably more. So one person did that. So in other places, the spread is trickier. No one can say for sure when or how a person contracted the virus. And unlike countries such as South Korea, the United States had neither the testing capacity nor the broader healthcare infrastructure to trace the virus's path from individual to individual. South Korea did a lot of testing, and I think they clamped down on the situation quickly because they put in place the emergency procedures right away. So did Singapore, so did Hong Kong. Everybody keeps asking me, and I can't answer this question other than that these places took good extreme practices and measures in place. But they keep asking me, why didn't the neighboring places to China suffer as bad? And I think they saw and paid attention to what China was happening, what was happening in Wuhan, and like, no, that's not going to happen here. We're gonna nip it in the bud now. They didn't sit there and say, go ahead and have the big parties or have that big concert, like they did here in North Carolina. We are now seeing the effect, the cause and the effect, or the butterfly effect of not complying to those extreme measures. I'm not trying to scare people. There's a person out there telling me, please stop scaring the people. I'm not trying to scare people. I'm trying to make us wise. Okay. We learn from our mistakes, I hope. And so this is a mistake. It was a pathetic decision. And we need to get back on track. No, we're not flattening. Somebody has said we're flattening. We're not. I don't see it. The chart's not showing it. Our doctors are being fired for speaking up. That's what they're being fired for. They put in a ban on March 27th. I guess it got emailed. But anyone who spoke out prior to that ban was fired. So even the people who didn't see the notice, they didn't even get a notice, were fired for sharing information on their Facebook in their private part of their Facebook. These people were being fired. So I did read up on this quickly. It was a brief scan of what's going on. So no, we don't have the freedom of speech here in the U.S. And I think our death toll is going to go. It's already higher than Italy.
The highest in the world. Yeah, it's the highest in the world now.
Yeah. 20% of the deaths are in US.
Can you post the numbers for us, Ankit? Can you post that racing chart, the one that freaks me out every time we watch it?
So for that,
see the facts. Okay, I'm not talking off the top of my head here. I'm talking based on the facts that we're reading and seeing. And honestly, I'll have people send me stuff, and I want to say something about it right away, but I confirm it before I mention it, like the firing of the doctors, because that came from a friend of mine whose family is heavily embedded in the medical industry. Mother, a doctor, father is a surgeon, one of the best in North Carolina, and the mother is probably one of the top nurses, or has been. I don't know if they're still doing all that work, but when she contacted me about this, she said, "Can you please do a show just specifically discussing what's happening to the doctors and nurses in our country, because it's horrifying." It was just breaking her heart. And it's not just because her family might be affected by it, but it's not fair to these people who sacrifice their lives every day to help save us, just because they spoke their mind. Again, just because your profession says you can't speak your mind doesn't mean that's how you prevent growth and change, is when you prevent these people from speaking about what's really happening in the hospital, right?
There should be no law against that, because this is such a sensitive profession. It involves lives. It's not like in engineering or something where you can fix an aeroplane or something like that. Once somebody's dead, then you can't get them back to life, and the medical profession is something which should be completely exempt from any kind of restrictions. Absolutely. How can you be afraid of the truth?
It's the politicians are afraid of the truth. Think about it, right? It's politically, it scares them when they start seeing. But when you start talking about what's happening in the hospital, people start thinking zombie effect, right? The movies. So I don't know. Did any of y'all manage to get the video I shared with you back in 1970? Was it 73 or something like that, when we had the toilet paper scare? Back in 1973, we had a run on toilet paper. I sent that to Ankit, but it happened. And let me tell you why. It was almost like the War of the Worlds with Orson Welles, right? You had somebody on TV, maybe more of an ad, talking about Charmin toilet paper and all these. And what if? It was just a what if statement. What if we ran out of toilet paper? Well, that night, David Carson, do you guys know who David Carson?
Yep.
Okay. World famous, right? Gets on the show, late night show, and he says, "Wow, we're out of toilet paper. What's going to happen?" And he starts, making jokes about it, because that's what he does, right? He didn't say the probability of, right? And the whole world shopped out toilet paper the next day, all because he was making a joke about something he saw that day in a commercial. And the whole world, it was like Orson Welles' War of the Worlds all over again, right? Everybody is like panicked. Oh my gosh, there's no more toilet paper. And they were just somebody. And what was weird is a young man did a movie about this last summer. He did a documentary about the day the world went panicked over toilet paper, and he did this last summer. So people were posting that. Go ahead, Sasha. Sasha's off. Hold on.
Mike.
The disappearance of toilet paper is much bigger tragedy than the War of the Worlds.
You are right. We are more devastated over that than we are aliens coming down and killing us.
It's about aliens. Okay, so they will go over there or over here. But toilet paper, oh my God!
Oh my God!
No, because the toilet paper has connotation. When we use toilet paper, we were sitting on the throne.
That's right.
You're talking about royal toilet paper.
I can't imagine what the price is now. Given our eggs went from $1.12 a dozen to $4 a dozen. I mean, what does toilet paper cost now? I mean, my gosh, I can't imagine. I stocked up when Willie said something about it. I went and got all that there was plenty on that day. Willie told us there was plenty. So.
What puzzles me is that why don't people instead just fit a bidet? Just like they do.
I've wondered why that hasn't taken off over here in our country. I mean, as much as we talk about recycling, I think that would be fine with me. It's we've just gotten to where we have unified bathrooms, right? That has not existed, and it was a big fight in the South here. In fact, they tried to ban it by a law, but we now have unified. Stop. All right, were you able to find a graph of any kind, Ankit?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Let's take a look at some of the stuff that's really happening, so these people won't think that we're trying to scare everybody. This isn't. We're just having the real talk. And I want to get some of these doctors on. Wow. Nobody else is moving? Just the U.S.?
Yeah.
Can we restart?
I'll just
Okay, people, take a look at this. Oh, my gosh. Like, nobody's moving. We're the only ones moving. We're the only ones moving. Look at this. So there you have it, people. You know, this is not a good. This is like
not an Olympic race. This is a real pandemic situation where US is not ready to listen, and that's what it's happening. I mean, you can see till 10th of April.
Wow. So people, we're not making stuff up to scare you. This is exactly what Ankit says. This is exactly.
Till 29th of February, you can't see US only these numbers.
Right.
Okay? China is like here, and if you gradually go slowly, and then you can see 15, 14. Now you can see 24 on 8 March, 24.
Wow.
71 on 15 March. And we are doing this show since 13th of March, you remember, and then on 22nd you have 476, and you have grown like anything.
I mean, yeah. So, and again, this is what I tell people: this is not the race we want to be ahead in.
1st April, US is at 5455. 1st April.
Oh.
In 11 days' time, it's God, tripled.
Yes. See, that's because we did nothing. We had a president telling us not to worry. It was going to go away in a couple of weeks. But we had definite data from Wuhan. It didn't go away, right? It's not a disease that goes away. It's not like you take a cold tablet and you wake up tomorrow and you might feel better. You know, Drew Brees isn't going to sleep us through this one. This is real, and nobody was taking it. And you can see we're not trying to scare people, but the curve isn't there yet. We haven't even started doing this. Australia has, India probably has, because they're doing what I call the centralized community monetization, which I thought to me was the best way to handle a dense society without panicking people, right, and still being able to take care of your community. So a very, very dense area, I thought, was better handled that way. And they're doing it, right? You're just handling the hot zones as they exist. Hong Kong, they have been labeling the buildings if somebody's infected so that you can make that choice, right? And I think there are some practices put in place, but you continue to do things, but with the forethought of transparency. Everybody knew it existed. Everybody knew how bad it was. And you have the choice to put that mask on. You have the choice to put the gloves on and wash your hands. So, Canada shut all their airports down way early before us. In fact, us was one of the last flights in, if I recall. So, but this is not good because I hate saying this, but a lot of the world relies on the U.S. resources too. right?
There is something else when you mention that the best results were achieved to fight coronavirus in South Korea, in Singapore, perhaps Taiwan. You don't forget how they treated each particular situation. When they got somebody who was sick, they immediately investigated every person that he was in touch in the last
Yeah.
3 weeks. So they would go not just after the infected person, but everyone that he was in contact. And they investigated all his telephone calls and all his contacts, everything. And they would go after each individual and they would question him as well,
Or they went.
his contacts in the last 2-3 weeks or so. So when you do this and then you test all these people and every one of them and put them for 14 days mandatory quarantine, that's how you get results. There's no
But
magic.
you can do that in South Korea, but US is a continent in itself.
I
You
agree.
know, you could have somebody in New York today and they're just zipping off to Los Angeles the next morning. How
Well,
are you going to track him? You know?
and if we look at the GIS for airline, you're going to see all the rest of the world, a few planes, probably mostly air cargo, and then you're going to see the US. We still look like a beehive.
Absolutely.
We're not,
Absolutely.
and I keep saying, who's getting on those planes? Why would you want to? And knowing what is out there, unless you've already been infected, but then we find out people can get reinfected. And is that an interesting fact or what? I mean, so we got to be careful. You got to be smart. But think about your family and your children and your friends. Don't know what is out there unless you've already been infected. But then we find out you can get reinfected. Okay, folks. And is that an interesting fact or what? I mean, so we got to be careful. You got to be smart. But think about your family and your children and your friends. Don't know what is out there unless you've already been infected. But then we find out you can get reinfected. Where is that coming from? Interesting fact.
I have no idea.
Gotta be careful. Okay, somewhere somebody's got a YouTube playing. So I want to share something. While we're at home, we have a great sponsor, the dollar store. It's a cyber dollar store now. You can shop on the dollar store online and get your supplies that you need without having to go to the store. It's the dollar store, so it's cost effective. People have asked me, does it cost anything to ship? And I go, yeah, if you buy under, I think, $25, but they've got some specials going on if you buy a certain amount. But gosh, that's a lot of stuff, right? But it's not all $1. There are a few things marked differently. But you can get actually CBD products. You can get paper products. Sometimes they have toilet paper, but they have them run on toilet paper too. But they got all kinds of cute party things if you want to do a little home party. Napkins. They got seasonal items that they come and go. Ankit has spoke with them, and I guess they're having a meeting this weekend about.
I would like to share my viewers that Lynn will be joining us at 1:30 from now.
Okay,
so
we'll wait on that. So I didn't know that. So that's good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just want people to know that you can go out and shop online, the dollar store now, which is way cool. Because I drive up to the little dollar store every once in a while and pick up a few cleaning items and just fun trinkets and stuff. So anyway, we'll let Lynn talk about all of that.
I would like to play a video what's happening in one of the cities in India and how the cops are preparing the people to stay at home.
All right.
Yes. I think there's some. I think there's some.
He's got a helmet like a coronavirus.
Yeah, yeah.
Bangalore, that's Bangalore.
Bangalore.
Helmet like a coronavirus.
That was Bangalore, where cops are innovating with different ideas and trying to stop people and tell them stay at home, because you can't be harsh and you can't be very flat about it. So you have to add a lot of creative humor as well, and that's what people are doing. And especially in India, cops are singing songs and they are doing a lot of things. They are serving food, they are cooking food, they are manufacturing masks as well at
Yes,
their
yes.
stations, helping the people and helping the community to try to flatten the curve, which is very important. So cops are not
I
just singers. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
I saw a lovely video today on Facebook, and it's obviously a stage thing, but it was
Yeah.
about a cop who was, he was hitting people who were, breaking
Yeah.
the lockdown restriction. And there's one young man who says that, I'm just going to buy vegetables. The cop beats him anyway. So anyway, he runs off. He runs off, and then he comes back, and the cop sees him that he's bought some vegetables, and he's actually feeling quite bad. And then a little while later, they show the young man go to his house, and he's cooking, and he makes food for his young son. I have no idea where the mother of the child is. But anyway, he makes food, and then he takes some food, packs it, and goes and gives it back to the policeman and says, "Thank you, even though you beat me. Thank you for doing your job because you're protecting us."
Wow.
I thought that was pretty
Yeah,
cool.
that's happening. That's happening around, and you won't believe what happened today morning. That there is a city in Punjab known as Patiala, and there a group of people, went to the market to buy some vegetables, and they don't have that essential pass. So the cops ask, if you are not carrying the pass, you are not permitted to buy these groceries. Take a pass and then you can come and buy it. They were not listening to the cops, and then they just, buy something and ran away. And then there is a mob fight between the cops and those people, and they were doing it like gangsters, and they cut one of the cops' arm,
Oh
and
yes,
yeah,
they
and
chopped
it's
his
become a
hand
big,
off.
yeah, and it's become a big thing. And then finally, we have to, call the special operations team and detain them and control them, because people see, the problem is that people are losing their mind psyche as well. That this is a tough situation for everyone, and we are trying to help you to stay home and stay active and stay healthy. And if you're not ready to listen, Kim, you won't believe, when we started the lockdown in India, we have less than 1,000 cases, around 500, maybe less than 500 as well. And
Wow.
Yes.
now we have around 10,000 cases.
Wow.
Because of lockdown.
Yeah, but
Yes,
did
yes.
it right away. And then everybody, and like you said, there were a few people who challenged the law, right? But few people challenged the law, and you were able to contain it. And if you don't, this is the only way to stop the spread. Stay home.
Yeah.
And if you get sick, use the phone, call the doctors, and ask what to do. Don't go in and make everybody else sick. Even if it's just the flu, even if you end up with just the regular flu, let them try to treat you via telepath, the telephone, or send you the treatments, right? There are just so many different alternatives right now that we need to resort to just to contain this. Once we get this contained and controlled, and then we understand it. But like somebody was bringing up again yesterday, the herd immunizations. And people,
Yeah.
herd immunizations is fine if you understand the disease and know how to treat it. I have no problem with that. We did it with chickenpox, but you know what? The damage with chickenpox was little scars occasionally on your skin, right? That we knew how to treat it and we knew how to deal with it. And we knew how to control the death rates. But we don't know anything about this disease right now.
Yeah.
I don't think herding is anything but genocide. Honestly, I think if you start herding immunization right now, you're going to create the world's largest genocide if we haven't already. And I'm not trying to scare the world, but that's the truth, because because this is not a prejudice disease, but the people who are going to be impacted are the people who have weak immune systems and the elderly.
I had a look at the video that I sent to all of you about the molecular aspects of the COVID-19, and it is truly frightening because it's a large virus in terms of its size. 30,000 bases on it. It has it sort of triggers an enzyme which picks up proteins at random, and when it's inside the whole cell, and that is, it's almost like the virus has got artificial intelligence.
Well,
It
they're
is
living
crazy.
Think about it. A virus is just another living creature, right? They are. They're just another portion. Just because they don't look like us doesn't mean they're not trying to survive. And they might be highly intelligent. We don't know. We're not down there talking to them. To me, they remind me of these ugly things. When you said, how many sides they have, it reminds me of these stupid little sweet gum balls that, because they say they can get in you and tear you up. And I'm like, yeah. I can't imagine that inside of my body, tearing my lungs up. And then what's the permanent damage?
Frightening.
The permanent damage. Yeah. It is not worth herd immunization. So please wipe that off your plate. Wipe that out of our minds for a while, because that is not, to me, an alternative. I
think after watching that video, I think immunization as a strategy needs to be taken off the plate.
Right.
But again, I must underline that I am not an expert.
I'm not either.
Educated people than me.
I think if we understand our body perfectly, and if we know that how our body will get immunized and how we'll get more healthy, I think that would, give us a better picture, because every human being is different from others, and they have a different way to a lifestyle to have their own immunity standards. So I think we need to evaluate our body from inside and see how we can make it more stronger and with more immunity, because
resistant,
if we have good immunity, I think we can fight with anything. That is what the art
and
is.
I think just learning little habits every day while we're at home, right? Establishing just one or two extra little habits that build your immune system, whether you go outside for 15 minutes or whether you eat healthier and you think about it.
Kim, but I think we also know that how to do a lot of things, and we have shared a lot of good practices. But if we compete in some way or the other within the group, like the Robert Arnett were doing with their son's friend, they have a group and they are talking about the immunity, and they challenge each other, and they then report who is doing what, and whoever wins it, wins a week, he'll get some reward. So if we do challenge ourselves, then only we'll do it, because people don't follow the discipline. I know a lot of things, but I'm not doing anything because I have a lot of work, so I'm not able to take a time out and do all these things.
But we're competing with a little health technique every day, and it's making.
We can do it right now. I think we have fixed board members on our panel.
water. We're competing. We're always trying to see who drinks the most. But there's going to be an immunity app. I think there's going to be a test kit that comes out, an immunity app that we can test ourselves on our immune bodies. What's inside us and how well our immunity is going up. And I think we need to compete on that. But I think competition is good. It's healthy, right? Chess. We
Yes.
play more chess and lose 6,000 calories playing chess. And we're going to do that next week, next Saturday at 3 p.m. We're going to have an amazing chess tournament with Sasha. And I think all of us, I hope, can be there. Dr. Mohammed, share with us what you've got. You're always sharing us some 5 tips of immunity. What's going on?
Yes, again, the lockdown, calm down, social distancing, personal hygiene, and lastly, improve your immunity naturally. So, the right now everybody is talking about the how we can save ourselves first. There is no vaccine, there is no treatment, there is no stem cell technology. So, what is the next step? Just to improve immune system. And in Germany is allowing people who is having the good immunity, and they're not allowing those who are having the weak immunity. And immunity test is very common everywhere in the world. And if we will follow this immunity part, then we can save the valuable lives, because weak immune people will get the infection very easily. And today I came with some more information about the best food and the best salad that can improve our immunity. See, we know very well that there are 4 types of vitamins: vitamin B6, vitamin vitamin C, vitamin D, and vitamin E. These vitamins are very good vitamins for immunomodulator. And when we talk about the minerals, there are 3 minerals. One is the major minerals, zinc. Zinc is very important for our immunity, and then is selenium, and then again is the iron. So how we can make this thing easy, because it's not possible for everyone to take these so many pills for multivitamins and the multi minerals. So I had tried to easy make it easy by making this salad. So immune salad, what is the immune salad actually? It's a very common thing, you all are must be using that. So onion, ginger, and turmeric. If you have the white part of egg, this is very good thing. And add something else like black pepper and black salt with so a small amount of cumin to make it very tasty. So you can use this salad every day, and you will be getting these vitamins and minerals very easily. And when we come next to the food, the best food, oysters contains approximately all the things like vitamin C, vitamin B, iron, selenium, everything. And apart from these oysters, the crab and lobster, meat and poultry, mushroom. Those who are vegetarian can go for the mushroom, legumes, milk and dairy products. Dark chocolate is very good for with having the zinc content. Nuts and seeds, whole grains. These are containing the huge quantity of zinc. And I will try to make it more easy for the vegetarian people also. Use red, white, or yellow bell pepper, and with mushroom. It is very easy thing. And then you can add something like ginger, turmeric, and black pepper. I just want to inform you, ginger is the only ingredient which contains zinc in a very good quantity. And zinc is very important, that prevents mRNA degeneration, mRNA generation of degeneration of the virus. So it not only protect our body from the virus, but also there is a study that zinc alone reduces 32% of symptoms of common cough and cold. So knowledge is a power for all of us. We have to have all the knowledge of these food stuff, because we cannot go for the medicine every time. So these infection and these virus comes every year in any other way. So we have to have our immunity in very strong way, and must do some yoga or exercise. It's my suggestion. Thank you.
No, and
Wow.
Thank you so much. And we need to.
I've been making notes.
Well, we need to cut that section out because I think that's awesome. I mean, and to eat healthier, but also just to share the ingredients. And my mouth was watering while you were
But
sharing.
I think I would prefer if Mohammed can share those salads, real salad photograph as well, because that would
Yes.
ease our viewers that how it looks and how they can cook it.
Yes.
Yes.
See, I've already imagined that, and hopefully by tomorrow, we'll shoot that and we'll share it
You
with
won't
you.
believe every one of us
I mean-
were imagining those salads, and that's why we clap.
Yes,
Yes,
because
yes.
that
I
just
promise you.
all of this being made would be
I
awesome.
promise you.
I think it would
But,
just be really, really good.
but do you think is it the right time to introduce superfoods? What we talk about the superfoods and the natural foods and all those food diets. So I think during this pandemic, I think we should talk about superfood. And do you know which is the fruit which is good while circulating when there is scarcity of food? Maybe if you talk about Africa, they don't have a food, so there is a fruit which you can serve those people, and it's good for health.
Very good question. Very, very good questions. I'm prepared for that.
Ah, look at it. He's got his notes.
See,
All
there is
right, sure.
a in breakfast, if we can take at least once in a week, I am just giving you the information. It's a complete thing. It contains all the four vitamins, multivitamins, and multiminerals. Apart from that, the other things like proteins and all will. See, if we can take the mixed fruit chart with four dry fruits like almond, cashew nut, because almond contains vitamin E, vitamin C. Cashew nut contains huge amount of zinc. Sunflower seed, which contains vitamin E and vitamin B6, and the pumpkin seed is containing vitamin zinc. Zinc mineral. And we can add up to make it more tasty the apple pieces that contains vitamin E, vitamin A, B1, B2, B6, and A. We can add up some like orange, which is full of vitamin C and D as well. Kiwi is good for vitamin C and vitamin K. And lastly, to make more tasty, we will add the banana, because banana contains huge amount of iron and magnesium, because magnesium plays a vital role for Krebs cycle. Krebs cycle is simple a cycle inside our body that generates that generates ATP energy actually. So you must be having seeing the badminton or the tennis player in a break they use banana also, because that contains magnesium and gives easily the energy. Okay, and then lastly we can add up the honey, because honey is full of vitamin C and antioxidant, and antioxidant scavenges all the free radicals. So simple, these four dry fruits and four juicy fruits can make our breakfast. And this healthy breakfast, if you're taking once in a week, this will boost your immunity. And the most important thing for girls and the woman, this gives a special thing like glow, natural glow on face, freshness,
Honey, I
attraction.
believe it.
What about jackfruit? What about jackfruit? Because I have heard a lot of stories on jackfruit in mythological stories as well. That
Mhm.
jackfruit is like a fruit which tastes like meat, and I mean, a lot of people when they are in a hunger situation, maybe in different parts of the world, they
Mhm.
have to have those jackfruit because it's a big fruit and it's easy for everyone to consume it, and it's good for health, and in small portions good enough for all your requirements. Anyone have
Yeah,
any idea about jackfruit?
the jackfruit contains huge amount of vitamin C and it is good antioxidant, but it's not freely available across the world.
Yeah.
It is available on the tropical countries.
Mhm.
So why I'm talking about those fruits and the seeds, dry fruit and juicy fruits, because it's very easily available everywhere in the world. We can arrange, everyone can arrange easily.
And
So
sunflower seeds, don't forget those. I mean, pumpkin seeds are good. Sunflower seeds are good. And sunflowers is where bees go to when they need to build their immune system up because it has the antibodies that they need to cure their hives when their hives are getting sick. So, I mean, all of these things are awesome and they taste good. That's what's nice.
yes.
With the
And we should
flavor.
use the oil like olive oil and sunflower oil.
Yes.
We should not forget
Exactly.
that.
Or even avocado oil, if you've got a little bit of
Yes.
avocado oil, which also has a little bit of flavor to it too. And sunflower oil, peanut oil. I always like a little bit of peanut oil. It seems to have a good
Yes.
taste to it.
Yes, 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 yes.
But there's so many ways to just mix up the
Yes.
flavors, right? And healthy and energy and you can twist it. You can add different kinds of fruits. If you don't have apples, throw in raisins. Raisins have a lot of iron. And
Absolutely.
raisins keep, right? Dates. I mean, I keep
Yeah.
forgetting to eat more dates, and dates are healthy. They,
Because full of fiber.
yes,
Full of
yes.
fiber. Mm.
And it's a good natural, natural supplement of sugar.
And keep,
Natural supplement of sugar. Even diabetic patient can take 2 dates a day.
Yeah.
There is no harm as
Oh,
such. There's
yeah,
no harm as such.
you know, I'm a watermelon eater. I hate it when watermelon season goes, but I know in Florida they have them all year round. So I like it when I have to go down to Florida in the wintertime because but watermelon, if I get it, but I like it. I know it's not the healthiest fruit, but it's very hydrating. It's got that really good sweet flavor to it. It's a lot of fiber. But there's just so many fruits and vegetables out there that we overlook and will rot if we don't do a run on those as well as the canned goods, right? So we need to
And
find
yoga is also very, very good thing because the way mobile we charge mobile and mobile remains active till 24 hours. So same way, if we will follow recharging ourselves by yoga in the morning, we will be very energetic whole the day. And yoga improves our metabolism. So uh, aging is also a very, very important factor. So yoga prevents aging because the metabolism is there actually. So we can
But I
enjoy
think
very
that,
well. We can enjoy our life.
but
We can work. Yes.
But I
Please
think
say.
while doing good exercise, while performing the yoga and all those good walking or whatever you can do, you need to eat right as well. Because if you don't eat right, those things won't work out. So it should
no,
be balanced of both the things. And I was always about to ask some question with all our panelists and viewers that we spend a lot of money on our healthy day-to-day lifestyle, but we are still not healthy in some way or the other because we know that we are not doing the things in a healthy way, and we are just talking that we should this, and we have to do all these things, and we are seeing the best practices. But if we touch our heart and think that are we implementing everything on our own life, so the answer is no.
Yes.
and
Yes. It's very
I
important.
want to share something with you guys while we've been talking because I didn't get breakfast this morning.
Yeah.
Which I'm a breakfast person. I love, okay, so I love my Sunday breakfast, but we're not having that today. But Sunday breakfast in the South is, you know, country fried white gravy, you know, bacon, sausage. I mean, it's just abundance of food that's going to kill you. But I make these banana oatmeal. And so it's made out of banana, oatmeal, apples, but the oatmeal is your base flour, right? Apples, nuts, anything. So I took like your standard
Excellent.
banana nut bread, right? But eggs, and things that you would make. But I use bananas instead of butter. I use apples instead of certain things. But and then the base is oatmeal, right? Which and then of course some baking powder and stuff so they poof. But but
Try,
to me,
a wheat bread with some peanut butter
yeah.
And then just toast it.
It doesn't have to be that complicated. You can take the wheat bread, like you said, and put bananas on it. I'm not a banana bread person, but you can put the bananas and nuts, right?
Bread bananas and put it peanut butter with the nuts as well.
And, you know, there's just so many different ways to do it. Bananas are good for you. People,
In India, we used to do fried bananas. I think Rakesh knows about
Yes.
it. The fried
Yes.
banana thing. And also we roast the bananas as well.
You know, my doctor told me a banana is a potato in disguise. Avoid it.
Bananas got me my job on Walter Football. If you guys ever get to watch Walter Football when it comes back into season, I got my job on Walter Football because I was supposed to be there and not say a word. I was just helping technical, right? And all of a sudden, everything went down and I was the only one up. And you can't have dead air. Now Walter has, 6 million fans. You can't have dead air. So I don't know a thing about football, right? But I'm listening very hard about what they're talking about. And they're talking about all the injuries and all of these football players having all of these injuries. And I'm a mom, and I've know, brothers and sisters or brothers that play football and nephews and my own children who've played. And I go, gosh, all those injuries, are they getting cramps? We used to feed them bananas. So when I realized I was live and okay, guys, so I just got to wonder with all these injuries, are they not feeding them enough bananas? Now, this is fantasy football, right? Serious stuff. And I mean, when they're talking about their football stuff, it's very serious. And when he comes back on, he's laughing. He goes, did you just say feed the football players? I didn't know what else to say. As a mother, that's what I would do. Because they're good for you, right? And we used to do that. I even shared that with a mother who had a son in football, and they were all getting cramps. I said, just feed them bananas. And so they were feeding banana pudding, bananas, and, banana Fosters is not good for kids. But, banana Fosters is fun, though. You take brandy and bananas and ice cream, and you light it on fire. Have you tried that, Sasha? Hold on, I got you toned out for a second. We got a little buzzing on your line that we're going to fix. But hi, Sasha. Have you ever tried that banana Fosters?
I think I did, but it was a long time ago, probably 10, 12 years ago. And it deserves some place in the diet way of treating the food. Today in the morning, by the way, I've eaten the omelette with mushrooms and onions and some cheese.
I see all the things that Muhammad shared with us, right? You just put them in an omelet, not a salad.
I love all the idea about healthy lifestyle, about exercises and proper diets or so on. And although I don't practice all that, but I do read a lot of books and I'm watching YouTube, and it makes me feel good. Yeah, but don't forget that I burn 6,000 calories by playing chess.
That's
so
right.
I have to
increase your brain power. So yeah, I mean, I'm all for it, Sasha. I am. I'm gonna get down and start burning calories with chess. But we're also going to be playing chess next week and betting on it. That can burn some calories too. So, but go get registered at chessstars.com and get your free crowns, because that way you got free crowns to bet on the game. You're not losing money. But we've got our friend Lynn Shepard, who is sponsoring IBM. Namaste, Lynn.
Namaste.
Namaste, and happy Easter to you.
Well, happy Easter to you too.
Happy.
We're celebrating. Every culture kind of celebrates something similar to Easter. And it's just the awakening of spring and life and everything. So we've been talking about it today, and we've had a full circle here because Willie's already celebrated it, and when he came on, I'm just starting to celebrate it. We got people in the middle. So how are you doing today?
Great. Just went to church in Kenilworth, Illinois.
You still have church?
What? No, I'm kidding. It was online.
Okay.
And our favorite minister that we've known for almost 40 years has a church in Kenilworth, Illinois, which is one of the North Lake suburbs. So we went and we heard Bill Evertsberg, who's the pastor, speak. He gave a wonderful sermon. Just loved it. But they were all dressed in what ministers wear. Nobody had anything bright on like you do.
Oh, so I had to. So since I was a little girl, this was my favorite day. And we were talking fashion yesterday, right? And I am a fashion faux pas person, but I loved Easter because that was the day we got to wear our patent leather shoes, our little white gloves. Perfect purse. I even got a purse on Easter Sunday, and the perfect outfit, right? And I've done it my whole life, whether I went to church or not. So I just continue that. This is a fun day to dress up. So thank you for the bright colors. Yeah.
Well, you would have been great this morning. We didn't do it, but normally there's a sunrise service on Easter at 6 o'clock, and you could have been out there. You would have been the queen of the belle of the ball.
Oh, and I got the hat too. I'm just not wearing it right now. It would not be Easter without your bonnet, right?
There you go.
I will share with you something. It's my mom. It was my mom's favorite. It's
Oh,
a
wow.
box I have, and can y'all hear that?
Can hear it.
So, and I usually have this sitting out in the living area near the front door. So when the kids come in at Easter, we used to have a house full of children come in. They all ran for this, and they all had to crank it. And it's but it's been something I love. But you can't have Easter without your Easter bonnet. And but yeah, I miss the early morning masses. We used to go to those. So
yeah, you could have had Judy Garland singing if you wanted to.
I mean, we did Whitney Houston yesterday. She sang the national anthem. That's one of Willie's favorite national anthems is Whitney Houston, which I have to admit, she rocked it. Not many people can hit every note amazingly perfect. And I don't think she rehearsed it. I agree with Willie. I mean, not Willie, Sasha. I agree with Sasha. I don't think she ever rehearsed it. She never, I'm sure she had to rehearse a lot of things, but what a natural. So Lynn, share with us what's new with the Dollar Stars. Starting to share it, and then somebody said, no, Lynn's coming on. So
well, thank you. Not a whole lot new. Unfortunately, we still don't have toilet paper, but that's okay. You can't find it in stores anyway. So, but we do have disposable gloves. Okay, we do have dust masks. Well, we did until I bought them all. So I'm sorry. I really.
You bought them all?
No, I didn't. I'm just kidding. I think I said this the other day when I was on, but there's a friend of mine he's actually a floor cleaner, so he deals with a lot of chemicals, and he's done a lot of research. And his research said to him, you can spray stuff and you can, all the disinfectant, but the best disinfectant you can use really for yourself is either Dove soap or Dawn dish soap. And we have a lot of Dove soap up on the website, so you can get that. One of the reasons why it's so good is it lathers well, and the lathering basically cuts the outer surface of the virus and therefore helps to kill the virus. So there you go. Kimberly's got the website up. Lots of different things.
But you even had seasonal things for Easter, so people did not have to go and shop and buy these things. Actually, these weren't even in the stores.
Right, that's true.
Our little farm store did not even have these items this year. So, but you could have gotten them on the dollar store. So.
You could, and for the people who are viewing today and maybe have not seen this before, basically, I'm donating 50% of the profit to Money Masters. I love the mission of Money Masters, teaching kids and young people, maybe even older people who just have never had to manage money. Teach people about money. Teach people about finances. It's something that none of us, especially people who are my age, probably even my kids' age and some of my grandkids, we never learned when we were in school. So we had to go out into the world and learn it on our own. And wouldn't it have been nice if we had gotten out of school and learned and known something about how to handle money and what it was all about, how to even write checks, simplest things.
Thank you so much, Lynn. And one of the things that I was proud about joining Money Masters is we want to close that gap between poverty and sustainability. And the only way to do that is education, because they don't teach this in school. David M. Walker will be joining us tomorrow. So if you can join us tomorrow, David M. Walker is the former U.S. Comptroller General of the United States. I think it was for 4 presidents. That's the man who ran our money, right? If there's anyone who knows money, it's him. And he's been on our show many times, even dropped what he was doing and running for governor and flew out to the Federal Reserve with us and did a show because he said he believed in what we were doing. But he told us something that was shocking, because Nick would always take a vote about, after every show, a vote on something. And he goes, do you believe that financial literacy should be taught in high school? And, the rest of us are going, yeah. And David goes, no. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And he goes, it needs to be taught in grade school.
Really? Absolutely.
Elementary school. He goes, we should be teaching our children financial literacy from day one. And I was like, all right, now I know why I like David, so, but thank you so much for your donation. I mean, it's heartwarming. It's safer to shop this way, right?
Absolutely.
Every week you're getting more and more supplies. You have weekly meetings of good business, right? You have your meetings with your people, and you share with them what the world needs and wants. And eventually we're going to get this to India and Australia. And
Correct. And I will have that conversation tomorrow night, Willie, the one that you asked me to have. So so I should give people, I know there's a link on the IBM.TV website to the dollar store. The store is also called shepherdfamily.dollarstore.com. That's SHEPPARD with no space, family. You can go sign up. We have a rewards program, and immediately by signing up to become a customer, people get an automatic $5 reward that they can apply to any purchase. And every time somebody has a purchase, there's going to be, for every $10, $1 worth of rewards will be put into your into your cart, into your account, so you can use it for your next purchase.
Wow.
And if you order over $25 worth of items, for those who live in the 48 contiguous states, you can have shipping for free. So just buy over $25 worth of items. So my wife and I sat down, and we knew that we needed masks, and we were looking for masks, and all of a sudden we were up to about $50, and we said, ooh, this is pretty cool. It's the post office is going to deliver it. Well, I happen to live in a town that doesn't have delivery, so I actually have to go to the post office. But other than that, it gets delivered right to your house, and it's fantastic. And we are going to be able to do this in India, in Australia, and in other countries. So that's coming, not yet.
But that is awesome. And there you go. They got soap, they got deodorant. You don't need to go out and buy any of these things. And they got the good stuff. I mean, I know this stuff. And you said you have Dove soap, you have the acne. I mean, Camay is always good. I've read models have used that. Pond's is world renowned. There's your Dove.
But Dove is, and it's been proven that Dove gives you more lather. More lather helps basically cut through the outer shell of the virus. So I'm just telling you what I've heard. I'm no doctor. I'm no scientist. Don't want to be. That's not my bag. But I talk to people, and people who do the research say that's something that you want to do, is cut through the outer layer of the virus. And Dove and Dawn both can do that and do it really well.
I mean, look, you've got toothbrush packs, $1.75. I mean, and you didn't have to go shopping. I mean, that to me, that's time, right? And time saved is money for me. So, I mean, you got it.
I was looking for Lynn from one of our viewers that when you talk about Shepherd Family.Dollar Store, so somehow viewers are directly going to dollar store by googling it and using the dollar store. So is the offer on Shepherd Family Dollar Store, or is it offer on the whole dollar store?
Say that again. I was happy. I apologize. I'm having a
Can you
little trouble. Go ahead.
Kim, you want to ask?
No, go ahead. I'm going to zoom in on you. I'm going to stop sharing, and then it might be easier for him to hear.
Because I think I'm facing some technical difficulties.
Well, sometimes I have a little bit of hard time hearing. So now try.
So what I'm asking, and what our viewers wants to know, that what's the difference between shepherdfamily.dollar store, where you are doing all these offers, or because viewers are just searching dollar store on Google and they are landing up on that homepage of dollar store. So are the offers valid on dollarstore.com or only on the shepherdfamily.dollar store?
Well, okay. So let me address when people are searching. Obviously, you can go up to the URL and put in shepherdfamily.dollarstore.com or click on the link for IBM TV. What the company is doing right now and is basically, if you're in the zip code where the store is, and that's how the stores are located, and you're doing we'll call it geo-targeted marketing. If you're searching for a particular product, then my dollar store would come up. Somebody else's in a different zip code might come up. Okay, and there are only about 140 to 50 of us, 140 or 150 of us in the country. So it's a rollout because Rex Maida, who founded the dollar store, only started to come into the United States in 2019. So the best thing to do especially for IBM TV, for us to be able to give back, is to have people go directly to our dollar store rather than just simply do a search on online.
But can we do also one thing, that can we set up IBM TV redirect to your dollar store website so that it would be easy for the audience?
Well, you already have a link
I have a link, but people search on different ways. That they do Google, then they go to our website, and then they also do their own search things. So if we can have a couple of dedicated links set up and then email for customer service, maybe, because we are getting a lot of questions from viewers that how they will shop from these stores.
Well, then that has to be, and maybe that's something, Kimberly, we need to talk to Nick about, but that has to be programmed on your side. So if the people are calling with questions, that really has to come from your side. I can't do that programming for you.
Right.
So if people are asking these questions, then they can go, maybe your IBM.TV can direct them to the website.
Well, we do that kind of right now on the website. We have the big green button.
Correct.
So you go to IBM.TV. That's easy to remember. And we have a big green button just for the dollar store, the Shepherd family, just for the Shepherd family dollar store. You hit that button and it takes you actually straight to the paper page. So, because I thought that would be easier for those of you who want paper, but like any other store, you can click on the little menu button and it'll take you to all of those great and wonderful things. So
probably the better place, Kimberly, is to go to the homepage, because that really then gives you the drop down of the of all the areas.
And we can do that too. I was in a hurry and it happened to go straight to the paper page. I think it's because that's what I was looking at that day. And,
yeah.
So again, I'm just baffled that you have Minion napkins. If I go on there and find Minion toothbrushes, I'm buying them.
Well, I think that's somebody knew my son liked Minion stuff. He's into that. Now, why a 50-year-old or 51-year-old would be into Minions, I haven't figured that one out yet. But
I'm
he
over
is.
50, and I love it.
You shouldn't have said that.
I know. So let me share with you. I think what it is one, it's really good, fresh, clean fun. When I first saw them on ads, I thought, God, that's got to be the dumbest thing I ever seen. But then I got stuck on a plane, and that was the only movie I could watch. I kid you not. And I usually work hard during a plane ride, but I wasn't feeling good. I was laughing so hard, I felt sorry for the people sitting next to me. I kid you, I was laughing, and I'm not one to really laugh much when I travel, right? I mean, I'm a happy person, but it's just getting there and getting my work done, process. But I was laughing so hard. I'm like, these guys are hilarious, and it's just they're goofy, and I couldn't wait to go home and watch it again. That's what was stupid. I'm and I'm like, I want to watch this again. Wow. So,
Have you ever been on a plane when people are listening to the comedy section, and then all of a sudden, about 5 rows in front of you, there's somebody who's laughing, and 10 rows in front of you, and then people realize that oh, he's listening to the comedy thing, and it rotates around. And about every hour, I was flying from Philadelphia to San Francisco, and this was in the day when it was acceptable to listen to Bill Cosby. He used to do some wonderful routines, especially his dentist routine. And so all of a sudden, when it comes on again, there was one guy up front who would stand up and he would wave at everybody so that all of those who were listening could know to go back and listen to the dentist routine. It was really funny, and it kept happening in a 5.5 hour flight. He did it 5 times. So,
oh my gosh, was this Southwest? Only stuff like that happens on Southwest sometimes, where you're like one big happy family, but no, I just, that's what makes it great. And you know what's cool now is actually, I don't know how fast this stuff takes to ship, but you could be on a plane, order your dollar store stuff, and have it wherever you're.
Well, it ships in 3 to 5 days.
Well, there you go.
And I think, as I said before, for somebody who wants to order $1,000 plus and typically that's not most people, but businesses can. But if for $1,000 worth of items, we have a separate store that we'll get credit for to make a contribution, and there are 32,000 items. Okay, and so we will get credit for it to be able to make the contribution to Money Masters. Okay. Typically, the stores that we have right now are only about between 5 and 5,500 items. More keep getting added as the ordering takes place. Some get subtracted, new ones are put on, and they're part of what the group of us do is try and figure out what our constituency wants to order, and because of that, then we lobby to make sure that we get those items on, and if they're purchasable, we get that done. So we lost. Oh, there you are, back again.
Yeah, sometimes I have to kind of cut off for a second. I have allergies. It's not COVID, okay, people, but I have allergies, and I'm just sometimes I got to sneeze, or they just cut off for a second.
Well, in North Carolina, you've been having the yellow snowstorm, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it were COVID, we'd be in trouble. But yeah.
Yeah, true.
And I usually wait until like 2 or 3 weeks before I clean everything, because it's just you're wasting your time. And yeah, if anybody's been through the yellow storm here, it's bad. Today, though, we're waiting for tornadoes. So we're tornadoes.
Oh, tornadoes! Really?
Yeah, they're heading east. We've got also the hailstorms as big as golf balls coming in.
Wow!
So,
wow!
It's scary. I've been caught in one of those one time. It wasn't even predicted. We were driving home from the beach in our little Prius, right? And hailstorm. It was really weird. We stopped for a picnic, and I felt like this cold breeze. And I go, boy, that's a low, cool breeze for the hot summer. And usually that means a storm's coming. But kid you not, 15 minutes down the road, golf ball size, were hitting the side of our car because of the way it was going. We looked like a golf ball when it was a white car, but the glass was busting in. We had to stop. There was no way to see or drive. and everybody was pulling over on the highway, the trucks, everybody. But I thought the windshield was going to cave in. It was that bad.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was so loud. I've never been in anything like that before. It was so loud. But we are expecting tornadoes today. And so I'll wait until the tornado blows through.
I watch CNN, I watch Fox, I watch.
And I'm going to need your mask. So if you bought all the masks, send me some. Because
Now, if you go to dust masks, okay, you'll find masks. If on the site, if you go to disposable gloves, you can find gloves. The disposable plastic gloves.
okay.
So go up to all where you do the search and type in dust mask. Okay, and then just go to the search, and you will find there they are.
Wow, right there. And
Yep.
they're the good kind. Yes.
Yep.
Yes, yes. All right. Oh, and you got dusters. All the things I need to clean the pollen with.
Right.
And then what was the other thing you mentioned that you have?
Disposable gloves.
Oh, yeah, disposable gloves. Let's go take a look at that, folks. Disposable gloves. I can't spell sometimes. Hold on just a second. And also, I'm still getting used to this computer. It's a new computer for me to be using.
So
All
there
right.
they are.
Oh, wow. And, if you are a person who likes to clean but not get your hands messed up, these are great. These and look, only $1.50 for a 10-pack. Wow. What is this? Disposable 60 count for $1.25? Are you kidding me?
There you go. Yep.
60 for $1.25. Oh my gosh.
So I prefer the vinyl because you can wash them. And we do when we go out to the store, we'll wear those and then come home and wash them using Dove or Dawn rather, and just put them over a couple of bottles, let them dry out, and it's really great.
Oh, and you got the hair caps. I love those. I buy them and just travel with them because they don't have them in all hotels anymore, even though I'm a 5-star girl.
Yeah.
This is the guy's joke today. But do you have other sizes besides medium?
No, they're typically one size fits all.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
There you go, guys. And that's 60. The one up there at the top, 60 for $1.25. That's a bargain.
Yep,
Especially
they are.
if you do a lot of food preparation and you just want to use the gloves. That's not a bad deal. Plus, those are great if you dye your own hair. We were talking about that yesterday about, we're having to dye our own hair at home. Well, our hairdressers, they use the vinyl ones actually, but you can use the disposable ones. But, that could be something that you could carry in your pocket, too. At 60 of them, you can just throw them in your bag. And then when you go to the store, you can just take them out and use them as you need them. Go pump gas. Heck, I would use that pumping gas without COVID because you get that gassy, smelly all over you. But there you go, guys. That's a bargain.
And if you drive to New Jersey, you don't even have to pump your own gas. They by law, they have to have somebody pump it for you.
Is that because of COVID or is that?
No, that's been that way forever. So you literally can't pump your own gas in New Jersey.
So they never converted over to self-serve?
Nope.
Wow.
Never did.
I got something to share with you guys. So my dad was an entrepreneur and he helped start the self-service gas stations. He was there.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. He was one of the entrepreneurs that launched self-service. It came from Mexico and he brought it into the U.S. So yeah.
Wow. Good for your dad.
Yeah, but I'm shocked that you guys don't have. I never heard of that, and I know I've been through there, but I don't drive. I don't.
I think I have done the gas thing on my own in New Jersey.
Oh yeah,
You have
Yeah, I did.
on
Yeah,
your own.
yeah.
I can't
Near
imagine
the
where.
Edison area, I have done a lot of times.
I can't imagine where because
in Pennsylvania.
in Pennsylvania we pump our own gas, but in New Jersey I have never ever
No, in New Jersey, there are places where you have the people who will help you out, but there are a lot of places as well where you have to do it on your own. So it depends from where you are getting the filling done.
See, whenever I go up there, I just use the public transit. So anything north of North Carolina is got great public transit. So I don't. I might drive to Washington D.C., but I'm going to park my car somewhere and use the public transit. It's just not worth driving in the big cities. But
so one time, what I did is I started from New York and then I reached to King of Prussia in Pennsylvania via the local trains, and it took me to change. I think I've changed around 5 trains to reach out to that particular city.
Wow.
5 trains from New York City to Philadelphia? Well, you didn't come out of Penn Station because
there was some issue with the timings. I don't remember what happened because then I chose the local route. So I was, reaching out to the end station of that particular state and then taking the other train.
Well, you might have taken New Jersey Transit because New Jersey Transit does that, and then it takes you into Trenton. That's where it goes the farthest it stops, and then you have to switch over and take a train from Trenton into Philadelphia. That's a possibility.
Where'd Willie go? That's a trek right there, Willie. We can travel that. Where'd Willie go? Is he gone?
Yeah, it's 3 a.m. in Melbourne, so I think it's time to.
He had to leave. Sasha's kind of disappeared for a second, but that's a heck of a travel there. Journey right there.
Well, you can take the train right from Raleigh, actually from Charlotte, right up into New York.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, the train used to go within about a quarter of a mile where my son lived in Cary, and right past their place. So,
and it's not a train ride's not bad, but then for a while it was more cost effective to fly.
Oh sure.
Was to take the train. So, but my dad used to take the train from Charlotte to here a lot to visit. That's just still in the same state. Sure. He would pay $10. And he loved it because he said, because he loved to drive. This is a man who loved to drive. But he said he would do all his work between here and there because he would come up here for business. So, he would board with his briefcase in the morning and come out here and do all of his work. And then whatever, he'd spend the night with me and then go back the next day. And he said he loved it. 3 hours of work. So
when you turn 65 and the transit system here in Philadelphia, which is called SEPTA, Southeastern Pennsylvania Transit Authority, basically it's free. Yeah. It used to be, there you go.
I've got my card.
New Jersey Transit. Yep. Know them well.
You have.
Yeah. If you're going to New York City, you don't want to drive into New York City. No, you want to take the train. So, and I'm not far from Trenton. I'm a half an hour to Trenton just to jump on there you go. Yep. That's why
somewhere in my purse, probably.
Yeah. Where's Muhammad located?
Hong Kong.
Muhammad is thinking that when is the vaccine coming up and what he can plan to distribute to the world.
I'm into pharma business actually and exporting medicine and the herbal products.
Okay.
Especially to the African countries and the Russian countries.
He's in India right now, yeah.
Yes. And I have an NGO that takes care for healthcare, education, and social justice.
I got my Chicago one.
Yes. And
there you go.
I was there when they won. Remember my story, Ankit? So, I got the metro too. I got them all because that's the only way I travel. Like you said, Lynn, it doesn't make sense to drive in these cities.
That's my life.
Ah,
Oh, New Jersey.
do you
New
have a new ID?
It's not valid now because it's been a while, but it's not
So,
valid.
so
That's the
what's the
driver's
address?
And that's
Yeah.
what Aki is.
Oh,
Oh,
that's pretty. What is it?
That's Hong Kong.
that's a Hong Kong.
Hong Kong.
Octopus.
Okay.
The octopus card. Yeah.
Oh, wow. You got them all, don't you?
He's got all the cards. Don't leave home without them.
You know, Ankit, we need to make a thing that combines them all, right? Like an app, and you got them all combined.
I worked on that particular thing, but the problem is that the people who issue the card, they are not ready to share their APIs and their things in a universal app. Because I have a deck ready. I have discussed with a lot of people in different parts of the world, but the problem is that people are hesitant to share their own data, and they think that we are trying to capture the data and then we will create a business out of it. But I think there should be a universal app where you can manage all your cards, because I have around 50 or maybe 100 cards, and I can't carry that. And you won't believe what I did is on my last visit to US, I tried to reach out to the Starbucks people, because I have Starbucks card of 7 different countries.
Oh my God.
Card, I have around $50 or something, and I can't use those cards in any of the countries. And I was like, why can't you have a universal card?
One universal card.
I'll do it. Give me give me the access or license, whatever it is. I'll create a universal card, because people who visit Starbucks in maybe somewhere, they tend to visit the Starbucks in different countries. I mean, that is what the meeting point is, or maybe a standard coffee place around the world where people do meet and greet and do the business meetings. But
Ankit,
to my surprise, there is nothing like that, and I've tried to reach out to them multiple times. They're not ready to listen.
Ankit, we're gonna have to have a talk. You have a problem. If you've got a Starbucks card in all those countries, you got a problem. You have an addiction to Starbucks. We're gonna have a little talk with you about that.
So the best thing is, I'll tell you what. Because whenever you visit the country for business or something, you end up going to Starbucks, because that's the way you'll get best internet, best coffee, and a best place to sit and work quietly. That's what I believe, and that's what I'm doing.
You are absolutely right. It's reliable. It is a reliable, predictable place to go and do business.
And I'll tell you, whatever hours I've been working from past 15 years, I think 50% of the time I've worked in Starbucks.
I think so. I think you better buy stock in it.
Tell me when you're going, and I will buy the stock. I'm sure it'll go up because you go there so often.
I'm going to call Starbucks and say, look, I'm investing in stocks for one reason only. Ankit, your customer. There you go. One for each country, right?
Starbucks.
One for each country. I love it. So we need to get you right. Let's build them an app. It's time we do an app. And
no, but if they don't allow you, it's difficult. I wanted to do an app for Starbucks, then they said no, and then I thought that let's create a cafe app for all these cafes around the world, big cafe chains, where you can work and you'll get the internet access and things like that.
Right.
So, but you need to partner with a lot of people. You can't do it alone. If you want to do a global app thing, so you need 2 people to partner with, and then only you can do it. It's like Airbnb for coffee shops.
So when we do that journey that you and Willie are going to make out of this business, we're going to make sure that there's a Starbucks along the way. A little hospice. We'll have some hospice, and we'll have Starbucks.
If I'll ask you a question, what does an entrepreneur require to do to work basically? Can you give me some answers? They need coffee. What else they require?
Say that again.
So as an entrepreneur, I do a lot of things what other entrepreneurs are also enjoy or maybe spend their money on in terms of infrastructure. So I take a lot of coffee. Then I work on a working space. Okay. Then I need a laptop or a good internet connection.
Right.
Okay. Then I need to have some credit cards where I can do a lot of online, shops maybe for my software tools.
Okay.
Then I need a business email, which is either from Google or Outlook.
Okay, keep going.
There are a lot of basic prerequisites which an entrepreneur require, like me, who works for a global audience. So if we can create a package with all those 25, 30 basic tools available in a card, that would be easy for us to sell, because I have to go and buy these things from different players. Although I am a partner with Amazon, Google, and all those, places,
Right.
but I can't be partner with everyone who was physically or virtually owned by different companies. So I am trying to bring back on a common platform so that it would be easy to access everything through a single card. Something
Well,
like maybe a WeWork. So this is the Regus thing. So whenever I go out, Regus. So
right.
it's kind of a business networking like WeWork, and they have corporate offices around the world, 24/7 access. So these are the prerequisites which an entrepreneur requires in their daily day-to-day routine. But for utilizing all the things, I have to go to different platforms to get the things done, and then I'll proceed. And also, there is one more problem. When I travel to different countries, I have to carry each and every currency. There is no single card. There's no single card which will give you an access without with a lower interest or with a lower commission charges. Because if you want to convert the currency, you will end up paying 10% or maybe more than that.
This is where Bitcoin came in. Bitcoin didn't need all of that currency transitions, and
Sure.
Bitcoin
Right.
was a universal currency. Once you're in, it's very difficult to hack and steal it. The wallets are easy. You got Bitcoin? Was that Bitcoin?
uh, Bitcoin is legally not valid in India. People
Okay.
have invested, but it's not. And I don't believe in Bitcoin till the time it's not governed by the government. Because if it's governed by the private players, it's difficult. That's what I believe.
Well, I mean, I think,
The idea is good, but you need to govern with someone basically.
but I think it needs to be a universal govern. I think
Yeah.
it needs to be a universal organization that governs it. But once it's established, it's an internal system. The hacking actually exists on the wallets on the end user side. But once in, the transition fees are very cheap. It's a universal currency. So, you could go to Starbucks in China today and India tomorrow and utilize the Bitcoin, right?
Yeah. And the problem is that apart from keeping these cards, we travel a lot through airlines, and then we have to carry those airline cards separately.
Yeah,
So
I got a stack of them.
Yeah.
I got a
then,
stack.
then you will believe then every card has some limitations, and we don't know what are the offers on these cards, because a lot of cards have some free offers which we are not able to utilize. Okay, and also we miss a lot of reward points because they have a validity period that you have to use in 6 months and 12 months and whatever it is, and then after that it's zero.
Yeah, no, and I agree with you. It's just too much to deal with. And there was a gentleman who did go out, and he not only added all the airlines onto one card, but I don't know why he never got it going. But he was able to get all the miles transferred into one card. So you registered American, Pan American, Alaska, Delta, and it all went into his system. And he negotiated a deal with all of these companies. But it never went anywhere. I watched him present it. It was working. He actually even made a deal with private airlines. So if you're flying all different kinds of things, and then you accrue points, right? And all of these points come into something for you to get a free trip somewhere. And sometimes even flying on a private airlines. So he had to, I'm going to have to go look him up. It was going good for a while there, but I don't know why that would fail. What I do, because I can't keep up with all the airlines, except I love Southwest, if I could fly Southwest all the time.
Sure.
But I just use Capital One. They were really good to me back during a time when my business was crashing. And all the credit card companies were like, oh, we don't want to work with somebody who's having problems right now. That's when you need them the most, right? Just to keep things going and to get back up. Oh no, they won't give you an umbrella when it rains. So, but thank God for Capital One, and I was able to reestablish some things and get, and they stayed with me, and they've been with me. I've been with them for over 20 years, and that's where all my points go to. And they let me do personal and business, because I have a business. I keep the world separate. And they let me combine them, which is way cool, right? So is there somebody out there that combines them all? What you got?
There actually, and I think I read this. There was somebody who was putting together a card, which you can load with every one of your different cards. You can load all the information, and then when you go, if you want to use your Visa card or your American Express card or whatever other card you had loaded on it, you could just simply on this card pick the one that you wanted to use. All that information was loaded on the card.
Yeah.
I've never seen the thing go live. It's sort of like what you're talking about with all the airline miles and stuff like that. But anyway.
I mean, he had it going live. I even registered with it, but then I forgot about it. You know, and I forget what happened, but then I've never seen it again. I think it went down. But, you know, apps require a lot of marketing.
Mm-hmm.
That was something. I had an app that was a lot better than some of the apps that map people and tell you where they are, like your Friends app and stuff like that. We had an app called Meet You There, and it worked great. You can sit there and schedule to meet a group of people at a restaurant, and everybody accepts it. And get to the restaurant and you can see, and it will timestamp everybody as they're getting there. But you can also say, oh, they're in heavy traffic, it's going to be an hour, but you're not constantly texting them going, when are you going to get here? Where are you?
Sure.
You actually saw them on a map, but our app never got anywhere. We were promoting it at, you know, places like Million Cups and trying to get it out there because I didn't have a lot of money to market. But all of the other apps that were similar to it seemed to take off a lot faster. If
you know about the app market, in one day, I don't have the numbers right now, but in one day, thousands of apps, come on the App Store and Play Store, and only 0.01% will sustain, and then rest everyone will go and then they rework again. Same goes with the gaming industry. You'll find a lot of games coming up, but if the game sustains for a month, it will sustain for years. That's how the market works. And also, I believe that there are very few apps which are globally working on a single platform for everyone, because all the app companies, what they're doing is they are working on demographics. And I think that some of the apps could work on a global platform at once rather than individual country wise thing. Like, people are traveling from here to there at each and every moment. Not right now during the COVID, but generally. So for that, if we have a global app which I can use it in each and every country at the same, with the same profile and with the same details and without the boundaries, I think some apps could make wonders. That's what I believe.
And I think there have probably been apps, you know, similar to that. The app that we made, the problem is that you had to make it iOS, Android. You had to have engineers that, you know, because you got to pay them. So you had to do that, but you also had to get it passed through iOS. You had to wait your 30 days. Back then it was 30. I think it's 90 now. And you had to get certifications and then once it's going, you have to update it, right? Because when they do an update, you have to do an update. And people just don't understand the maintenance of those apps are huge. And but everybody kept saying your app is so much better than the others because you could schedule an appointment and know when somebody's running late and things like that. But we just never could take off. So like you said, there's just a small fraction of the people who make it out there. It takes a lot of marketing. And then you've also, I think you needed Facebook back then. We didn't have Facebook as a big promoter back then. So I didn't know how to use it very well.
What about the different languages? I mean, that's an issue. I mean, you have my wife works with an interpretation company, and they have interpreters that interpret over 260 different languages.
Yeah.
I mean, and think about it. If you go to Guatemala, and you go around Lake Guatemala, a friend of mine's been there and he's seen this. There are 12 villages, all of whom speak different languages. Okay, and none of those languages are Spanish. Okay, but there's at least one person in each village who speaks Spanish so that they can do the interpretation that they need to do. I mean, if they still exist, At one point within the last 10 years, there were still over 5,000 different languages, which is a lot. Now, obviously, you're not going to create an app that can do the 12 languages around Lake Guatemala. It's going to be Spanish. But I imagine in India, just in terms of the different dialects in India, the language itself may be the same, but the dialects are different, and they have different meanings. So how do you?
So very truly stated by Lynn that we have 22 official languages in India.
How many? 22.
These are official languages, and in India, every 50 miles you'll find a different language with a different accent. So people who are living upside north, and if I go back to the downside people, and it's like a different world for me.
Because but you don't have to worry if you're looking at an app. You don't have to worry about how they speak it, because the app's not going to talk to you. So it's just simply reading it. But still, I mean, 22 different languages in one country.
So language, we have more than 100 languages, but 22 official languages. Official means common records.
So there are headsets.
We use a lot of basically knowledge base, and we use a lot of drafting and documentation and press release on these 22 languages.
Wow!
But apart from that, people speak a lot of other language.
English is the best language. Working language is English, so everybody knows English very well. That's why there is a very good relation with the US.
That's true.
With the Indian, especially.
English comes because of the research, and also you have a legal thing going on in some states. So some states have their own official language. So suppose we go to Rajasthan, they have a Hindi language for legal things. They write everything in Hindi. And when you are doing the same case in some other state, they have English. So we need a lot of translators and people who understand a couple of languages. Then only you can survive in India.
But there's this really cool thing that, because I get to go to a particular world meeting every year, and I know the UN does this as well, but as the oil, gas, and energy of world leaders get together, and it got canceled this year. But one of the things I love about it is that people from all over the world, that it's easier for them to speak their own language. They hand us headsets, right? And I pick the headset that says I'm English.
Yeah.
And then if I enter a room where somebody is speaking from India, it will automatically translate for me.
Yeah.
It is amazing. And we sit down at dinner, and it doesn't matter who gets up on the stage, whatever language they speak.
You can use it.
I got my English headsets on, and I hear everything just fine. And I don't know how they make all of that work, because it's not the chip that I've seen at CES where your headsets will convert. I think.
No. I'll tell you how it works. Basically, it's deferred live basically, and it's like maybe 2-3 seconds of difference. And there's a lot of translators who are on the recording thing. Based on that, you pick it up.
Yeah, they've got it. It's all set on radio, right? Each headset, like English is set on radio 1, French is set on radio 2. So it's all radio. And you're probably right. They got somebody in a press room. They're listening and translating, but it's beautiful. To me, it is so wonderful. I know the UN does it. I loved going there because I get to hear from all these wonderful people, all the great things and I don't have to struggle at hearing the different, trying to translate myself or read something. So they have the technology. Why we don't use it more often?
So Kimberly,
people are not investing on languages. Yes, Lynn.
I was going to ask Kimberly, can they translate it into Southern English versus Northern English? So because you have, y'all down there, and
do that.
and when you're talking about the companies, some of the countries produce all. You know what all is? All is oil. That's how they pronounce it down south.
And Texan versus no.
But there's a difference between the people who are in California and people who are in New York as well. They speak different languages.
Well, and then there's Canada. Then Canada is A. So you know, do you speak Canadian A?
Right? And Sasha speaks a good Canadian. Here we go.
In Canada, we have two official languages. It's English and French. Now, French is in Quebec only.
Right.
English is everywhere else. However, let's see, for example, I have a court date. Let's say I have a speeding ticket in Toronto. I have right to request a French speaking judge and personnel and so on, although I don't speak French at all. But if I will do that, then this court date will be delayed probably for 12 months. And then I can come with my own interpreter and have all trial in French. And by the way, a friend of mine used that very effectively. What he did, he's a PhD in physics. So the policeman, now he speaks French, by the way, and he lives now in New Jersey. So he's, you know how it's done in Canada, the order is this. The policeman says his story. He can ask him any questions. Then you tell your story. Then policeman will ask you a question, and then the judge will say the verdict. So policeman said the story, that he was speeding up, so on and so on. And so the first question was, have you ever studied physics in school? The policeman says, yes. Okay, are you familiar with this model, this radar that you use? Yes. What's the name of it? Okay, such and such. How often this radar is being maintained? He said, well, so it's every 3 months or so and so on. Okay. And then he asked him, what is allowance for an error in this radar? What percentage is
Right.
used? He's saying this radar is 100%. The efficiency is 100%. It always shows the right data. He says, I have no more questions. Then he approaches the judge and say, Your Honor, I'm a PhD in physics, and there is no appliance in the world ever existed that has 100% ability. There is no such thing. So the judge says, yes, agree, you're free to go.
Yeah.
Sasha, you always have such a good story to tell there. You know, New Orleans has their own language, right?
Amen.
So the Creole language, it's a mix of French, a native African American, and English, the kind of jazzed together in their own way of speaking. And it could be very difficult to understand when you are around the native New Orleans people. So
in Aruba, they have language Papiamenta. Are you familiar with that?
No.
Papiamenta. Well, it's typical. I think Aruba and couple of more islands may have it, like Curacao and Bonaire. So it's unites Dutch, English, Spanish, some German perhaps. But I mean, the sound is incredible. Because you know English, you would catch a few words of English there, but then some other words you wouldn't understand what it is. Although people who know English and Spanish, for example, they would have some advantage to understand this language. And if you know German, that's even better. So, but it's very, very interesting sounds.
I love German. My grandmother was German, but in New Orleans it's called Cajun. Cajun, you got Cajun food.
Cajun. Yep.
Cajun. So, but it's the French mixed with Native American, Native African American, and then a little bit of American. And then I always say you add a little bit of jazz to it, right?
There you go. So Sasha, you're in Toronto?
Yes, I am.
Okay, my daughter lives in Cabbagetown.
Oh, I know where.
There you go. There you go. Toronto is a wonderful city.
Toronto, have you been in Toronto yourself?
Oh, I've been in Toronto. Yes.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Love it. Love it.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
It's a very cosmopolitan city, very friendly. crime-free almost.
Happy.
Crime-free.
Almost. But
Almost.
they
Exactly.
live in a nice area. We were going to look at houses. I love to look at real estate, and they opened the garage behind their. They live in a townhouse, and they opened the garage. There were police cars all over the place. There was somebody who died of an overdose, who in one of the backyards. And they have a lot of homeless. That's I was talking to the policeman about it. There's a lot of homelessness. They have a lot of the policeman was saying a lot of problems with heroin and the different drugs. It's a shame. But he said we're like every other place in the world. We have our problems too. But you don't see it. It's not as evident as it is in places like Philadelphia or New York.
Yeah, Cabbage Town is a funny place. If you remember, there is a Parliament Street.
Right, no Parliament Street, very well.
Parliament Street is just whenever it's west of Parliament Street, it's a pretty good area, and I'm sure
right.
It's there. Now the east of Parliament Street, it's a little bit scary place. I never been there, by the way, but it's kind of that's probably where this narcotics problems and.
And I think south of Girard is not great either.
Yeah, agreed.
So, but anyway, I'm going to have to unfortunately jump off, but I really appreciate that. It's always fun having these conversations.
Yeah, we get to worldwide share, and we've shared earlier, the COVID crisis situations. I'm glad that you're sharing that you have masks and gloves, and
we do.
We had musicians on yesterday. We had a young girl from South Africa come on and sing. And
oh, wow.
Yes. And a model. We had a beautiful, gorgeous model join us and share what's going on in the fashion industry. She is just absolutely beautiful. So just all these different mixes of industries and world. And we just thank you for your donations and joining us and sharing what's going on.
Well, thank you, everybody. And I apologize for not doing social distancing. I'm sitting closer than 6 feet to my speaker. So, and
poor computers, they don't get any respect, do they?
No, I just hope your computer doesn't get a virus from me sitting too close. Anyway, God bless everybody. Namaste.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we will see you soon.
And I think we should invite Lynn for one of our business tours as well, because I think it's time to do some innovative ideas.
Some business shows, and we'd love to have you come join us about becoming a business person and what it takes. So
love to do that.
Maybe a brainstorming business show with Lynn.
Yes,
I'm sorry?
A brainstorming business show.
With Lynn.
I'm missing the accent.
Okay, so brainstorming business with you.
Brainstorming business.
Doing a brainstorming show with you. So
well, as you know, I'm at least in one other business that you know about, Kimberly, but actually I have 7. So 7, yeah.
That's the magic number, actually.
And if we could be developing real estate, which we're not right now, it would be 8. So oh well. Anyway.
It doesn't stop.
It's fun.
Like a virus.
Hey, look, I'll leave you with one last thing, and we can tell this story on the business thing. I got on a flight in Chicago headed to Louisville, and I was in row 1 and an empty seat, and a gentleman in a white suit, string tie, and a goatee got on, and he sat down next to me. So this is back in 1975, and you can picture who that person was, okay? And
the colonel.
The colonel was 80.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, he was 85 years old, and he was starting a new business at age 85, even though he was still traveling 250,000 miles a year for Hubline, which at that time owned Kentucky Fried Chicken. He was the man had so much energy. I couldn't keep up with him when I got off of the airplane. He was unbelievable. But to have that kind of energy and to be able to say, I'm starting a new business. I'm 85 years old. And as he said to me, and he didn't make it, but he said, I got 15 more years of good business and I'm going to have fun doing it. And I've always thought of that. So, you
Thank
know,
you for sharing that story, because we all know the Colonel, and what a way to meet somebody right at the
yeah,
prompt of his. I'm going to continue doing this no matter what. Right?
yep,
What you
yep.
do?
Well, and J.C. Penney, when he was losing his sight, somebody said to him, well, how does it feel to lose your vision? And he said, no. He said, I'm losing my sight, but I still have vision. Okay.
That's beautiful.
And he was 91 years old when he said that.
Wow.
That is so beautiful.
Isn't it? So anyway, God bless everybody.
God
Namaste.
bless you. Namaste. Many blessings. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter and see you all soon.
You bet. Thanks. Wow.
Wonderful story. And of course, you all know that Walt Disney, he had 7 bankruptcies before he became Walt Disney, whom you know.
Yeah, he struggled, and he started out very, very young. A lot of people don't know this, but wouldn't it be great to find some of his drawings when he was a kid? Because he had this passion when he was a child, and he started his own newspaper business. Right? He got out there. I know a lot about Walt because my kid would always pretend like he was Walt Disney, and he researched him. Whenever you had to be somebody at school that imitated somebody you admired, he was the Walt Disney. Nobody else did it. He was Walt Disney. But yeah, Walt Disney was amazing. My dad probably should have died many, many years early. We called him Bulletproof Bob, but when he would go to the hospital, they would wheel his charts in. Basically, he had so many things wrong with him, but he never stopped working. It was all up here. And I always believed, and every day he would wake up and he would work and work and work and work and not stop. And the doctors would say, why? And he lost his sight as well. And this is how goofball he was. I would take him to the doctor's office, and he has the best spirit in the world. And he would reach over somehow or another and find the newspaper sitting there. This is and he would have it up like he was reading the newspaper. It was just habit to him, right? Or he would carry it in with him, and but he couldn't read. I knew he couldn't see. One time he had it upside down. I go, Dad, flip it over. But he couldn't stop. He couldn't stop his habit. But that's why he kept living longer than what they expected him to live. It was, again, they say a lot of it is up here, and I would watch him. He would always tell me, "Hey, I'm 6 foot above ground today, Kim," because he was 6 foot tall. But you got to have those things, right, Sasha? You got to have things you love to do.
Absolutely.
I used to love to read the newspaper. Oh my! I would read it from cover to cover every morning. That was my morning.
I save newspaper because I have to read it later as well. It's kind of a Bible for me. And during the Corona, I was not getting the newspaper on time,
Right.
and didn't read it for like 3 weeks now.
Wow. See, and they made me quit reading the newspaper a couple of years ago because they said it was making me depressed. So.
But I don't read the. I always try to read the political news, the sports news, and the business news. I don't want to read about what's happening with the murder cases and thief and things like that. So I don't read the negative thing. I try to read the positive thing.
And see, I just read everything. That was my problem. I used to be kind of a speed reader, but I would absorb it all. But I also, was inventing a product for domestic violence, right? So reading about crime would give me incentive to get things done. But it was also depressing me very, very bad. I had no idea. And it took me a long time to get over reading the newspaper. Very long time.
Kim, I'll tell you what is much more depressing, what you just described. Is somebody 2 days ago in Venice, in Italy, he's got fined 400 euros for walking his dog for too long.
Oh,
His dog too long?
That's much more depressing to get $400. Fine for walking your dog for too long.
What was he torturing the dog or something?
He was not torturing. He was just walking his dog. He went outside of his
Oh,
just
because it's in Italy, and
but
they
walking his dog for too long time. You're allowed only 20 minutes or so. But, he was walking for an hour, and because the police gave him ticket 400 euros.
400 years.
400 euros. It's, in this
400 euros for walking your dog.
yeah, too long. You know, you're allowed, but only I think 20 minutes maximum.
See, I don't even know what it's like up in New York right now. I tried to talk to my son. Fortunately, he moved to this out of the city just as the his apartment became available. By that time, I was getting scared. And what's weird is we didn't even think about getting his clothes to him or anything else. We were just worried about getting him into a safe place. But I asked him because they have a dog there, but they're able to go out and walk the dog. He can go outside as much as he wants. I have a feeling we're going to have that happen. For the places that can't contain this any better. That's scary. That's very scary. And I have to ask myself, because of what I did for a long time, and I do still get involved with the domestic violence. I have victims from all over the world that still call me. I got to wonder how bad is this for victims who are having to be locked down at home. And I'm pray every day that it's not bad. I pray every day that it's. Did any of y'all see the Dolly Parton video yesterday? I want to pull it up. Dolly Parton. She did a video. Oh my gosh. If we could pull that up, it is the funniest video I've ever seen. Go ahead and play this. I'm going to see if I can.
Is it we did it while researching how the cities are, behaving during the COVID situation? And
Well, we're talking to her family on stage, right? And she goes, "No, you can't put a mask on a turtle." Oh my gosh, what are we going to do? And it's awesome. Let me see if I can find it.
So this we have created for our viewers on IBM TV, that how the world is changing or behaving during the COVID situation. Everything is empty. It's like a ghost town everywhere around the world. So this is China when it's locked down. You can see the airport.
Oh, wow.
Completely empty.
Can you expand this? Is there a way to expand it? I did that the other day. I don't know how. This is beautiful. Wow. China.
So we took a lot of, clips from countries in different parts of the continent, and then we collaborate and put it for IBM TV. This is Italy, and as we always say that the world is cleaning itself, the nature is on a
It's
reboot.
never been like that. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Crystal clear water.
Wow.
Very few cars are roaming around, but you can see it's like a ghost town. Factories are shut down. No one is there. These factories we generally work 365 days, 24 into 7. Everything is standstill. This is US.
This was a while back, huh?
New York, Times Square.
I've only been there when it's been like that one other time. And they locked down for a hurricane, and not
Okay.
one car.
Yeah. And CO2 levels are, going down due to.
Wow. So, I want to share with you Dolly Parton's poem. Have you heard it?
No.
All right. Let me see if I can get her up. I just love this woman.
Can you hold it down in there? I'm putting
Hold
video
on.
in this.
Hold on. You almost don't need to see her, but I'm going to see if I can get this big. Hold on. All right, share. This is going to be so funny. Hold on just a second. Sometimes we need a laugh, right?
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to make
Laughter
you
is
laugh.
the best therapy.
Yes, it is. Hold on just a second.
Can you hold it down in there? I'm trying
Okay,
to
this was yesterday you shared with me.
What? My camera's calling. Well, tell him to kiss my assets goodbye because they're dwindling to nothing. No, you can't put a mask on a turtle. Lord, does this sound like your house? Well, I wrote a poem about it. It says, this too shall pass as all things will. If the virus don't kill us, the stay-at-home will. The kids are bored and restless. They scream and yell and squawk. And the teens and tweens are just plain mean. They bite your bleeping head off. And all those loving couples that were once so sweet and cozy, now they fight like cats and dogs like Donald and Pelosi. Lord, get us back to school and get us back to work and get us out of this dadblame house before someone gets hurt. And Lord, please find a vaccination in the form of a shot or a pill. Because if the virus don't kill us, the staying home will. Stop it about the toilet paper. Can you hold it down in there? I'm trying to do a video in the studio.
All right, folks, there you have her. Miss Dolly Parton herself. She just makes me laugh. What a sense of humor, right? Just but she's been doing little things like that just to bring humor to everything. But that's true. You know, for some people, it's just going to drive you a little bit crazy. You got those kids staying home and you don't know what to do with them because you're used to them going to school. And, you know, having them home 5 hours a day and you're home 8 hours a day. I mean, that's, you know, got to be a different life. Got to be. I talked to one of my great nieces. She's a great niece. And she called me yesterday, and I know her poor mama is all by herself. She's a single mama in it right now. And, you know, she's there. Her boss sent her 2 computers so she can work. But her daughter and her are there. But she's used to her daughter being at school and she's being at work. But she's doing art. She showed me. She walked me around the house and showed me the artwork she's doing and all her toys and how they're all organized. But I got the whole tour of the house and the backyard, and the fire department came out yesterday. So that was really cool. I thought, you know, what a great community thing, right? That the fire department got together and came out to the community, not getting close. They did all social distant practicing, but they brought the Easter bunny and got all the kids, you know, excited about things. They didn't share candy this year or eggs, like little hard eggs, because they didn't want to spread the disease. So it was all just a hello and blessing. And I thought that was really cute. What you got, Ankit?
I have Gabriel, the famous comic stand-up. I'm not sure whether you have heard about him or not, but he's one of the famous.
Oh, Fluffy! He's my favorite. Sasha, have you seen Fluffy?
No.
Oh, he is clean. He is very, very clean. Just like hey,
I'll just fix it.
my brain just went dead. Fluffy, he's my favorite. Gabriel.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You cannot go wrong with Gabriel. And when he starts talking about that time when the police officers pulled him over, I just start laughing before he gets into it. And because it's like I know where to come, right? But can you play a little bit of him? Does he have a COVID-19?
Yeah, I'll just play.
He's funny. I like it when he talks about doing the movie with Matthew McConaughey, because he was in one of the movies with Matthew McConaughey, and that was funny. Oh my gosh. Bill Cosby, he's as clean as Bill Cosby was, right?
Pete and I just got back from India. Yeah.
This one.
I started posting on Facebook and Twitter that we were going to go out there to do these shows. And then people started sending me messages, questioning what I was going to do. First of all, are they going to understand you in India? Will they understand English okay? Will they be able to follow along with your stories? Once we got there, I come to find out that more people speak English in India than in all of the US and Canada put together. Might as well throw Mexico in there for extra credit. Because there's that many people, and yes, they have the internet, they got Bollywood, they got Hollywood. They understand American culture so much more than we understand theirs. Second thing, people tried to warn me about going over there. Gabriel, be careful. India is a third world country. Don't drink the water in India. It contains parasites that will make you really sick. Don't eat the food from the street people, especially the street meat. It contains a parasite that will make you really sick. And most importantly, there's a lot of crime over there. Don't stay out late. When the sun goes down, so I'm like, let me get this straight. There's a lot of crime. Don't stay out late. Don't eat any of the food from the street vendors. And don't drink the water. Why does that sound familiar?
Like Mexico.
That's Mexico!
Oh my gosh.
When Martin and I got over there, we found out that Indian people and Mexican people have so much in common, you guys. I'm telling you, it's insane how similar we are, especially the food. The food is so similar. For example, Mexicans love tortillas. Indian people love naan bread, which is a fluffier form of a tortilla. Mexicans love chicken. Indians love chicken. Mexicans love hot and spicy. Indians invented hot and spicy. Most popular drink in Mexico is Fanta. Most popular drink in India is Fanta. Indian people worship cows. Mexicans love barbecues. A lot of similarities. Most of the people that I met over there were very hardworking and humble. And I gotta tell you, every time I talk to someone, I was always greeted the same way. They look at me, they put their hands together, they do a little bow, and they say, Namaste, which is an endearing hello. It's really nice and sweet. And then I noticed that Indian people, when you're talking to them, do this thing with their head, where it will begin to move side to side as they're speaking. Now, at first when you notice it, you think, oh, he's flat wrong. He's got a kink in his neck. Get a tip for Peter. And when they start speaking, their head starts moving. And I noticed this. The guy is checking us into the hotel, and he's really cool. He's like, listen, if you have any problems at all, you make it. People say, somebody for your room for that. Now, one thing I noticed is the more they talk and the more excited Indian people get, the more the head starts to move around. Somebody at the hotel yelled out to the clerk, that's Fluffy. And the guy was like, oh my God, I don't believe it. I can do it. I thought it was it. I thought it was it. Oh my God, I gotta do it. This is okay. Oh my God, Fluffy. Even crazier than that is that the mouth is actually connected to the neck. When the mouth stops moving, the head stops wherever the mouth left off. And when you see Indian people talking to each other, you can see it. Okay, that is okay. Hold on, wait, hold on, okay. Like if you're Indian and you stutter, you are so screwed. Somebody stop it! I thought it was funny. But then I started thinking about it. Head movement is just a form of expression. No matter where you live in this world, people express themselves in their own unique way, whether through facial expressions, hand gestures, body movement, extra words. Everywhere you go, things are different, and that's just how they express themselves in India. Now back to the whole Indians-Mexican thing. That is something else that we share in common with Indian people. Head movement. Now some of you in the building tonight are like, stupid, you don't have head movement. Yes, we do. It's a little different. See, with Indian people, the head movement is side to side. Mexicans, our head movement is front to back. The difference between that is that with Mexicans, we have to be very, very upset in order for you to see the head movement. Otherwise, you can't tell. With Indians, it's all the time. Oh, today is such a nice day. It is such a beautiful day today. I'm so happy. It's very nice. Very good. Oh my God, I can do it. So nice. Mexicans, when we're mad, that's when it comes out. For non-Latinos, hey, trust me, you cut off a Mexican in traffic, see what happens.
Oh my gosh, he's so funny. I mean, what a way to spend a day just watching him, because he's clean, right? And I love it when he starts talking about his son, and so yeah, he's funny. He is funny. I hope I get to go see him one day.
High energy performance, really.
Yeah.
And he, you know, he's honest. When you say call a spade, he does it. And he doesn't matter. It's not a prejudice. It's not about being prejudiced. He just calls a spade.
And I think these stand-up people, they are very intelligent and they observe a lot, because it's difficult to observe and then replicate everything on a stage in front of so many audience. And they do it like better than what Indians does, basically.
But what he is good about is he doesn't curse.
Yeah.
He's not a foul language person. He'll bleep, 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 but he's really good at. But he's just clean, and I loved it one time because he had actually lost a lot of weight, and so there's the show where he has, you can see the difference. But he said his doctor told him, Fluffy, you're not going to live much longer if you don't get this under control. So he did. But his problem was that his fans found out what his favorite food was. And so whenever he got to a city, his room was full of that kind of food. You can't be rude and not eat it, right? Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. That just made my day. I could, and you know what? So next week, next Saturday, we got Chess Stars. This is very, very exciting. All during the week to kind of build up to Chess Stars. You know, Sasha's going to be with us. But
sorry, Kim, I have one idea just occurred to me. One of these days, I will try to invite to our show two grandmasters.
Yes.
Not both of them together, one by one. One day, one.
Yeah. Can we do like a Rocky movie where, you know?
Yeah.
Later and I'm gonna beat him.
Yeah. They're very nice people. We'll ask them some questions. I would like to know actually what is their favorite music, what is their favorite book, and just talk a little bit about not
about chess, but generally.
Yeah, different areas. Also to find out, because one is in Germany and another one in Romania, how they handle this coronavirus patient.
Yes.
Would be interesting. Yeah.
So can you, when you do that, make sure you send a copy to Ankit, me, and Nick. So Nick is careful not to overbook people. So if you can get them for a day and time, so that we can make sure that they're scheduled in and they have their own spot, this would be awesome.
Most likely, I will talk to both of them, say tomorrow. So I advise them, say Wednesday, Thursday, something like this.
Wednesday and Thursday build up. I think that would be great.
Yes. What time, preferably?
I ask Ankit, because we want to do Dr. Sagu sometime too. So
I need to confirm the timing from a couple of doctors. So maybe let me schedule it. I'll share the schedule of Wednesday, Thursday, and then we'll see.
Okay, and then you will send me an invitation as usual by
Right.
mail, and then I will forward it to them, right?
So
Yes. That's
what we can do is we can. Yeah.
if you give them the email to us, then we'll make sure that they get it too. And then that way, if they have problems dialing in, and we need to test this with them dialing in, then we can get that fixed. But
Also, I think I'll also tell you that I got a message from Michael. He's not available today.
I know. I got the message. We'll try tomorrow, maybe tomorrow or Tuesday at the same time, 2:00.
What do we need to do? Are we practicing
So
Today?
you have to test the screen thing now with the developer, the Skype thing. All the screens come together. How we will manage it out and all this.
Did we get together on Skype yet? I don't think we have.
No, we didn't.
No.
I was texting. So maybe we can talk after the show. That would be great because.
Oh yeah, we're on the show again, and here we are. Oh wait, are we done with our challenge? We got to find a new challenge. So I'm wearing a dress today, so I don't really want to do our challenge today. But
I have one more challenge, but for that I need some help from my family because then only they can showcase you what I have to do basically.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so we'll build up to a new challenge, but let's get our ambassador on before we finish our talk.
This is my challenge.
Yeah. Oh, yummy.
Yeah, it's healthy food, by the way.
Very good. It's got sea salt in it too, and pepper. I love it. So, okay, let's get our ambassador on.
Coronavirus से कैसे बचेंगे? Okay, hand होकर और ऐसे अपने खांसी जब आएगी तो ऐसे करेंगे अच्छू अच्छू और कोरोना वायरस को धन्यवाद हमारा म्यूजिक सुनने का.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter. Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you everyone. Happy Easter and stay blessed, stay at home, stay calm, stay united, keep spreading love, and see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.